Hello, hello. Gosu, thank you so much. Welcome. Um, for anybody who fights a lot in Rise of Kingdoms, they know that one of the patterns you fall into is you go to sleep and then you wake up and you probably grab your phone that's right next to you, and even if you're not gonna, start fighting immediately, you log in to see what's going on. And so I slept about 4 hours last night. Things were going well for us, but I wanted to be ready for 2268 pushing back. I wanted to be ready for their uptime. So I got some sleep and grabbed my phone a few minutes ago and logged in. Looked around a few other places first. I looked around if like our flag building up here was going good, because this is where I was last night. You can see my garrisons right here. And then I looked over here because this is where some fighting had been late last night. Looks like there's maybe still a little bit of skirmishing. I saw this. I looked at this flag and saw that we were doing good. Then I looked down here. I looked to see what 1900 was doing down here. I saw that they, instead of fighting at their like long-standing front here with earth and fire, I saw that they had aggressively pushed like this. And then after all that, I finally decided to check the Zig. And I saw that all of our allies were gathered here. And that the Great Ziggurat was attackable. And that was pretty cool to see, for sure. That was very cool to see. Because we did think that maybe our enemies in 2068 were very focused on getting this area around the Zig. We thought maybe they would take the Zig and then use the very powerful buffs that the Great Ziggurat bestows. 3% all damage and minus 3% all damage taken. That's 6% all damage. We thought that perhaps they would try to get the Zig and then expand from there. But it appears that maybe this KvK is won. I certainly don't want to say that. But I messaged Idun when I woke up, and Idun said that there was maybe an internal. They saw like an internal message. Somebody, one of 2268's players, posted something internal saying that they may be surrendering. And there might be something on a player's album about that surrender. Nothing official as of yet, as far as I know. Yeah, it looks like they, maybe one of the players... Oh, I'm actually looking at the message. Well, I mean, I'm looking at the message that was posted by one of the leadership of 2268. So... Yeah, it looks like we won. It looks like we won. Unless the message I'm looking at is a fake, it looks like we won. So that is pretty friggin' exciting. That is pretty awesome. You probably can't hear my voice because I'm tired. And a lot of times when something really good happens, you're kind of like low-key about it. The thing that I always experienced when I won a poker tournament is that there was really nothing to say or nothing to think, because you got everything you wanted. You won the tournament. It's not, there was nothing to regret. You got that day, and that event went exactly as you wanted. So there's really nothing to complain about, and nothing to feel except a very, very subtle sense of peace. And I guess that's what I feel right now, because we thought we had lost. I think for a large part of this KvK, we thought we were going to lose. Certainly on the first night of Kingsland, we thought we were going to lose. We almost got pushed. We came out from this pass in 970C, and we had some issues going into Kingsland with our build. We didn't have enough crystals in our main alliance. We also didn't have R5 control of our main alliance. Because the person who was R5 at the time joined the military and put a secondary password on their phone. And so we didn't have R5 access in our main alliance for a week. So basically we fought a lot in Kingsland without any shrines. We fought out of sea and we had no shrines at all. Like there's 4 shrines in a home kingdom that are all very good, and we didn't have any of those shrines. And we were fighting against a very, very powerful map. Welcome to the stream. Risky, welcome to the stream. I need to update the thumbnail. We're writing it. We're writing it and we're doing it live. So I was like just working on the thumbnail, and I wasn't sure when they were going to capture it. So I just went live because I didn't want to miss the recording, or I just want to miss this capture of the Zig as part of the live stream. So let me fix this friggin' thumbnail real quick. But yeah, you know, we thought we were going to lose for a long time. It looked really bad on the first night of Kingsland. But what happened? Well, a lot of people kept fighting. We had good vibes. When I went to sleep, we were just building flags in N70D down here. And I was like, oh, this territory sucks, but I guess we can build... Or, I don't know. I said this territory sucks. Maybe we should give it to... maybe we should, like, give it to 1900, and then we build over here. I was like, can these dudes delete their fort and we build from over here? So we have more TP space. But anyway, Addy and some others built N70D up over here. 2268 went into their downtime. We started rebuilding from our pass. And we just made a lot of progress during 2268's downtime on the first day of Kingsland. And that really boosted morale a lot. 2268 did come back after that. They pushed back pretty hard the next day. And they are very difficult to deal with. You know, they're a very strong group. They're very hard to deal with in the field. They're hard to deal with when they're all together. They're hard to deal with when their players as a whole hear that there's an open field fight and they all log in. Especially on days like the kill event and enemy elimination. So it got scary again, right? Like morale was high, but then you get overwhelmed in the field for a while. And very quickly things get tough again, right? I'm just messing with this thumbnail. There we go. So it's been back and forth the whole time. You know, we fort walled for 2 weeks. We fort walled for 2 weeks, and that was grueling. You didn't know if that was worth it. But at the same time, we did see 2268 losing power. Here's a couple of screenshots that Popo gave me last night. Here's the power of 2268, or here's the top 6 power in this KvK when it started, before any fighting. You see that Fluffy is at 600k power, Addy's at 560, Peacemaker is at 318 million power, PJ Rib is at, the dangerous PJ Rib is at 266 million power. Ward Eddie Chadsky's at 256. I would say Chadsky set the tone for 2268 and was probably their best overall player. And then the also dangerous Panda is at 250 million power. That's before any fighting. This is the top 6 power. And then here's the top 6 power as of some point yesterday, right? Addy was down to 343. Fluffy was down to 195. So Fluffy literally lost 400 million power in this KvK. Let me make sure they're not hitting the Zig. Yep. Yeah, so Fluffy lost 400 million power this KvK. You can see PJ Rib only lost about 70 million power. And PJ Rib did a lot with their power this KvK. So, I mean, if 2268 had played it differently and not swarmed quite so much, not been quite so aggressive, they might have had more players in PJ Rib's position with this much power. And then they would have, at this point in the KvK, they would have enough power to do an absolute ton of stuff. But ultimately, they had to swarm us because you just can't... You can't just... in today's meta, in Rise of Kingdoms, you cannot just rally, non-stop rally, and get like a good trade against a Garrison, because it's so much easier for a Garrison to fill. As much as they've made it easier for rallies to get filled, as much as 2268 dominated the open field and was able to protect their rally fillers quite well. As much as all that's true, and as much as they hit very hard with their garrisons or with their rallies, we still were able to get good trades if they never swarmed, or if they rarely swarmed. They had to swarm to get those good trades, or to get those, you know, to get the trades be as good as they were, because their trades were quite good against us. And so they had to lose that power against our fort wall. And I think that made like a really big difference. I think our fort wall made a very big difference in this KvK, where it depleted them before the KvK began. Oh, lots of messages that I'm missing. Iringer, welcome to the stream. Algebra, welcome. Seba, welcome. DRD. Ali. Gogus says, I was worried Brian Kuh was going full shield. Glad he's active. You know what? They could have zeroed me last night. I was off territory for hours and I didn't even notice. I was in C fighting and I was on LC territory for hours and I didn't even realize it. Safe, welcome to the stream. I might pass out some resources at Celebration later. If somebody's from C, if somebody's close in C, I'll give them resources right now. What do we got? What do we got? Here, I'll hook Chris Farm up. I'm gonna hook Chris Farm up a little food here. Let's go. 420 food. Headed Chris Farm's way. Who else can we get? Oh, there's Sam is fun. Oh, we're gonna show a little of feelings with some of these numbers. 420 to Chris Farm, but 69 to Sam is fun. King Alpha, welcome to the stream. King Alpha, one of the leaders of our great allies in 2836. Dr. Skunkman, welcome to the stream. I'm still messing with this thumbnail. I'm still messing with the thumbnail real quick. But we'll get this thing going. I've got some footage from last night. I've got some footage from the KvK. We can show a bunch of that. And let's watch this Zig get captured. Let me put a marker on it. Let me put a marker on the Zig. Yeah, I mean, if we win this thing, man, it's gonna be nice to live in this Kingsland. For as hard fought of a war as this was, for as high profile of a war as this was, where, you know, it feels like we had the public on our side for a lot of this, and I think that helped. I think that helped us, and I think that may have been challenging for 2268. But at the same time, they did a lot to try to win the propaganda war. That's what a lot of my teammates were saying as they watched the content. I didn't watch too much content during this thing, but people were saying that 2268 tried to win the propaganda war, and they do have like 6 or 7 YouTubers in their channel. So it was nice to have so much support during this KvK, and it's nice to have a lot of support on the stream as well. Barney, what's up? Congrats to you, Barney. Congrats to everybody from 1770 2836. Congrats to Water Camp. Water Camp's up here. TS24 from 1824. I don't see anybody from Cool. I'm sure there's somebody from Cool here. Yeah, Cool, which was Kingdom 1900, Korean Alliance. They fought in the south. Cool fought very, very well. Congratulations as well to X25 from Kingdom 1325 and STM from Kingdom 2250 from Daybreak Camp. Daybreak came up big in this KvK. Really, really big effort from Daybreak in Kingsland. You can see Daybreak here. They fought at the Zig pretty much the whole time. They fought back and forth with 2268 quite a bit. I think you can see on some of the live streams of the 2268 YouTubers, you'll see them fighting against Daybreak quite a bit yesterday. They kind of left us alone up here yesterday, which I think was a big mistake. But they fought Daybreak, and Daybreak was just big. Daybreak was big. They had some really big burns. I think they set up a pretty big zero last night, which we can watch on this stream today, of a 100 million power player. So Daybreak came up very big, even though 1325, this is literally their first season of conquest, this kingdom, from Pooh Coalition. Yeah, so they're Kingdom of 1325, very, very new to Season of Conquest. And but they came up big here. They just kept fighting. They never stopped fighting. Their trades might have been bad, but they stayed active, never stopped fighting. And when morale started to turn, they just grew and grew in terms of their impact. DRD says, who is Ryu from 2268? So Ryu, well, how do I want to say this? How do I want to affiliate myself with Ryu? I guess I just have to tell the truth. There's two mods in this, in my chat. There's two mods on my channel, and Ryu may or may not be one of those two mods. Well, let's just put it like that. So Ryu at this point can or cannot identify themselves, but Ryu may or may not be a mod on my YouTube channel. I cannot confirm or deny that. Mabba says the North is built different. Seba says North was the key. What Up says nice power drop. Thank you, What Up. I was actually at 69 million power yesterday, but you know, you got to keep fighting. Even if you're 69, you just got to keep fighting. Congrats also to Hanmano, who became a parent. Hanmano migrated back. Hanmano is original part of our group that came to 770, but then Hanmano went to 1B and played in 1B for about a year and a half. Hanmano migrated back to our kingdom before this KvK and played a very big role. I believe if you check the Mightiest Governor, you will see that Hanmano is in second place. You can see that, let's see, Barney, who's in the chat, is in 7th place. Algebra, who's in the chat, is in 11th. And Brian Kuh in 20th place, respectable. Not a huge score. We didn't have a ton of fighting last night. A lot of rallies and garrisons last night. But, yeah, Hanmano, it looks like Hanmano became a parent yesterday and also finished second in the Mightiest Governor yesterday. So, big day for him. Big day for Hanmano. Knight, welcome to the stream. Knight says, best KvK I have in years, to be honest. And, yeah, I mean, every KvK is fun after you win it. So, I complained about this KvK a lot, and Metro says, damn, is 2068 losing? They're being cut off everywhere. Yeah, it looks like 2268 may have given up on this one. Nothing guaranteed, but it's looking that way. There was like maybe an internal surrender. It looks like. So yeah, it looks like we won this one. I'm not calling it. There's been no official surrender, but you know, I'm not really the person that they would surrender to anyway. I'm not the alliance leader that's Adinavo and captain, and I'm also not the I'm not the group leader in terms of all of our camps. That would again be somebody like captain or Adinavo or Scotty, or maybe Autumn from 3125. I think maybe one of those players would get the official surrender. Yeah, Gosu's saying that they surrendered. I mean, Bramson Ho says they pulled out. That's what she said. But yeah, I mean, listen, it's looking real good. It was looking good last night. It was looking really good last night, and so I just went to sleep, right? Like, it was really quiet. We were just pre-burning. And so I just went to sleep because I was like, you know what? If they push back tomorrow, then we got to be ready for it. We've just got to friggin' be ready for it. So I went and just got a few hours of sleep. Just to be ready, because, you know, you want to be in a good mood. When things are going bad for your side, you want to be in a freaking good mood, right? And certainly when 2268 attacks, it's like, it's intense, man. It's friggin' intense. So I just wanted to be well rested for whatever today brings. And look, I got well rested for this stream instead, right? I got a few hours of sleep to do this stream, which, you know, is almost as important as the actual war. All right, I guess this thumbnail's good enough. I guess this thumbnail's good enough. Yeah, I mean, so I got some sleep for the stream. I still haven't turned the lights on in my apartment. I need to turn the lights on in my apartment. So Aiden was messaging me earlier. I don't know if I want to, how do I want to put this? Yeah, and I'm not going to say what Aiden said. Let's see. Can you build in C? I'm busy right now. Okay. Yeah, we'll build in C. We'll build in C. Yeah, I mean, you know. I didn't stream during this KvK because, one, I was super busy with fighting. You know, I pretty much, when I'm playing this game during war, I'm pretty much almost always on voice with people. And I'm always setting markers and talking to people. You know, I'm basically always talking to my team while I play during KvK. Like, the whole time. I'm talking to them the whole time. There's no real time where I'm just downtiming, chilling out. So there just wasn't a great time to stream, but then also I wasn't really sure what to say. I felt like I would be really negative if I live streamed during the war because it was just tough the whole time. We were getting beat straight up against Fire Camp the whole time. So I didn't really live stream at all. At this point, I'm glad I didn't live stream because now I'm going to say nicer things about the whole thing. I'm going to say nicer things about the game. I'm just going to say nicer things about everybody, basically. About our allies and our teammates. So, and our enemies. So I think it was good that I just waited. Thank you to the Korean player who said congrats, bro. Let's see. Gustavo, welcome to the stream. Tipsy, welcome to the stream. Tipsy says Water Camp did a good job holding 2268 in the other camp. Yeah, down here, 1900 did a very good job down here. I might have a little... I actually got very little of that footage last night. I think I can show a couple of battle reports. Let me see if I can find that. But 1900 did a really, really good job down here, fighting 68. Listen, we had a pretty chill day yesterday up here in the north. We had a pretty chill day. We fought Wind quite a bit. I mean, we collapsed all of Wind's territory. We definitely messed up Wind yesterday. There's no doubt about that. But the reason we were able to mess up Wind is because 2268 was very focused down here against 1900. And then they were also focused in the mid against both Daybreak and 1824. But I think the pressure down, or the intensity of the fight down here was really a big deal. And I think it's largely because... So you can see all the arrow towers from Earth. Like, Earth has 3 arrow towers here, which is wild. But the intensity of the fight down here not only took 2068's attention, but it just sort of let them know that there were some very strong alliances in this KvK that they were going to have to deal with. And I certainly think that Greenwood camp as a whole was that for Fire as well, right? We've been in Fire's face for about 18 straight days at this point. We had a Fort Wall and Gummer for a very long time. Obviously, from the live streams that you would watch from people like Plato and Chisgul and Only Farmer, and as well as all their other YouTubers, you know, you saw this Fort Wall that we had. We were draining them at their Fort Wall for at our Fort Wall for 2 weeks. That takes a toll on you, both troop-wise and mentally. And then once you get into Kingsland and you realize that like 1900 is just an absolute strong-ass kingdom that you have to like fight hard, that's demoralizing as well. And then everybody in the middle, 1824 and the Daybreak, they were just constantly fighting in the middle, and they eventually cracked him in the middle. So it was just a lot of pressure for 2268 without question. Lambo, welcome to the stream. Thank you so much. Hopefully your KvK is going good as well, Lambo. Really appreciate it. Happy, welcome to the stream. Raptor, welcome to the stream. I'm from 770. And then so as I was complimenting 1900 there, I was like, well, how much do I want to compliment 1900? Because we do have to discuss who gets the star. We do have to discuss who gets the star. And so Pinchahati, veteran ROK player and veteran ROK player and YouTube chatter, Pinchahati says, who's getting the star? And Osama Farouk says, it will be decided after DKP scans who take what. So, yeah, I mean... Oh, Lambo says his KvK is boring. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, this was a hard-fought KvK, but listen, I mean, it was a good fight for everybody. Everybody got plenty of fighting, so I think we have to call this a very good, if not great, KvK. But who gets the star? Who gets the... So somebody's going to get first capture. I would imagine that in leadership chat right now, they're discussing who gets the first capture. And I maybe should have realized that. There's no way for me to view leadership chat without opening it in game, so I don't want to do that. Hopefully someone from our camp is just like... Actually, I guess we don't really care who gets the Zig. We're not connected to the Zig, so like we in lieu of any more official statements, I don't know if we have any like leaders talking in leadership chat, but we're not connected to the Zig, so we're not going to get it anyway. And obviously that will be factored into like the final distribution of rewards. Obviously there will be a distribution of things, and the star will be one of those things that we have to discuss who gets it. In my opinion, Greenwood deserves the star. We have fought the longest. We fought Fire directly for the longest. We fought them for 14 straight days in Gummer. We fought them when Kingsland opened. When Kingsland opened, Fire went straight for us. All of Fire's focus was up here on pushing N70C back. And we fought them as best we could, although they obviously wrecked us here. I mean, we had some good trades, but we had some bad trades. But the point is, we had a bunch of good enough trades against Fire that, number one, they were depleted when they were weakened when they came into Kingsland. And number two, they left us alone at various times. You know, they left us alone here at times, in the mid. Like, you can see that we still have territory here in N70D. And shout out to Natsu. And then they left us, they didn't really fight us top. Once they had downtime and we started progressing top, we had a bunch of teleport space up here. There were actually a few times when they fought it, where they tried to fight us up here, but we had so much teleport space. We actually almost zeroed Cortex, so I might show some of that footage as well. Yeah, so they fought us up here a couple times, like just like some defense and some fighting back, but we were just strong. We like once we got all this teleport space up here, we were strong. And they knew that if they were going to actually like rally our well-defended flags, that it was going to friggin' hurt. We were going to reinforce stuff very well. We were going to use really strong infantry garrisons, and it was going to freaking hurt. So, in my opinion, Greenwood deserves the star. Because we just fought against fire the most. We fought against fire the most. Both of our alliances just contributed a whole heck of a lot in this KvK. That's not to take anything away from all of our allies. This was a team effort. This was very much a team effort by all three camps. And, you know, great KvK victories are generally a team effort where everyone does an essential part. We could not have done this without any of these players, or without any of these teams. But I do think that we deserve the star. I think we did the most. You know, Watercamp might have more DKP than us. But Watercamp also fought Wind for like a long, long time. You know, Watercamp fought Wind and Earthcamp quite a bit. We have never fought Earthcamp. Ever, ever, ever. We've never fought Earthcamp. And we only fought Wind a little bit. And you know, we cut through Wind like a knife through hot butter. So I just think we did the most to deserve the star, but it will obviously be discussed. And I hope it's very friendly, right? Because like this was a great win. Let's just be honest with each other. Let's make our points, and let's come to a agreement that everyone can be happy with, is what I would say. Talent Arizaj says 1824 saved your ass from being locked in whole time. I don't know. I don't know about that one. Let's see. Lore says, I assume they get first in Twilight and y'all get the star, but Water was obviously the strongest camp, so hopefully it's not just not messy one way or the other. I think both Greenwood and Water were strong. I think it's hard to say. I mean, they're stronger by power and everything and kill points. You know, it is what it is. We'll see. I don't want to get into it too much. Obviously, like it's a debate, right? It's a debate. And I don't know, maybe I said too much already because it's like not something that I am going to be involved in. Like I've said my piece and I'm not really going to say anything more about it probably because I don't get involved in that stuff. But it was a great win and we'll figure it out. Like at the end of the day, I honestly want the Autarch. I want the Autarch more than the star. Look, the star is great. Like the star is definitely great. And the star means that you get more of the Autarchs. Lambo, thank you so much for the dono. That's a sweet $10 right there. That is a sweet $10 right there, man. $10 for the dub. Love it. Let me update this friggin' thumbnail, guys. Let me update this friggin' thumbnail. Where do I update this fucking thing? Oh yeah, here it is. Oh, now I just demonetized my friggin' self. I demonetized myself just as Lambo gave the 10. Thank you so much. Oh, a lot of viewers. A lot of viewers tuning in. You love to see that. What happens if we update the thumbnail? Will we get even more viewers? We'll find out. 62 people on here. I think that's basically an all-time high without the replays. Ghost says, I wouldn't care about the star as long as I get the Autarch rewards. Lambo says, star is cosmetic only. Yeah, I want the Autarch. I want the Autarch. That's going to be sweet. I do not have Hunter yet. I have two... we've won twice. We've gotten 2 Autarchs. I have 2 Destructives. I've used one. The other one's just sitting in my friggin' bag. So I'm very excited to get Hunter. And I can put this on my Justinian Nevsky rally. I can make my cavalry wedge set better. I can have a cavalry wedge rally that, you know, at least is serviceable in a very tight situation. So I'm really happy to get the Autarch, and that's, I think, the biggest deal. you know, obviously the conquest coins are also very important because you can now buy multiple of these KvK blueprints to awaken your items. Obviously, there is the there's the awakening system here. So you want to get multiple KvK blueprints. And so getting a lot of conquest coins is also very important. And so a compromise can certainly be reached. There's no doubt that a compromise can be reached. But I think it's certainly the case that it is certainly the case that because many of our camps contributed significantly to this victory, that it has to be discussed, right? And people have different opinions, even in my chat tonight. There's different opinions about who gets the star. Lore says, wish Lilith would let you pick how many to give wherever instead of having 240 for star, Katie, and 60 for all others. Yeah, I think this is a great example of a KvK where you should just be able to distribute the autarchs however you want. Because then you can very fairly distribute things. You can literally get to a point where it's like, you know, how about you get 100 autarchs, but we get the star? No, we want 110 autarchs, and you get the star. And you can literally make a very numerical negotiation where... Did I build this flag? I did. Okay. Thank you, Lit, for the marker. I did also want to say Algebra said that he was off territory last night too. He said he fell asleep off territory. Yeah, Algebra says he fell asleep off territory last night. So, yeah, that's pretty wild. I was off territory for a long time and I just did not even realize it. I did not even realize I was off territory. And so a big whale could have come and swarmed my city for sure. You can see that yesterday was hectic because I didn't even start my Karlak rewards. And you can also see that everything, all my stuff is scuffed because, you know, at this point in the KvK, all your pre-select marches are scuffed. You try to multi-select and multi-dispatch and nothing gets pulled out because you don't have enough troops. So, you know what I mean? I just pulled out like I just did multi-select and I pulled out 0 marches. So, yeah, I mean the sweetest reward of winning KvK is not the autarchs, it's not the star. The sweetest reward is that you just get to chill. You're happy and you get to chill. That is literally the best part. So, you know, I can just like sit on stream with you all, talk, and finally max my tech. Or I can't max my tech, but I can max I'll show you my tech. I'll show you my crystal tech in a second. Oh my gosh. There's so much chat. Okay. There we go. All right. Salmon, welcome to the stream. Salmon also wishing asking who would get the Zig capture. Tolan says people are watching me because no one from 2268 is streaming this. Yeah, it works for me, man. Listen, I take an alternate route. I take an alternate route to other YouTubers in terms of getting more viewers, more subscribers, and more making more money from YouTube. I take a different route. Most YouTubers, when they get into a KvK, they stream a lot. They stream all the fighting. They show themselves fighting, and they get, you know, they'll sometimes like lock their chat. They'll make it subscriber-only chat. If I were smart, I would make this subscriber-only chat. But I'm so happy that so many people are here that I'm going to leave it open. Most YouTubers will stream a lot during KvK and grow their channel that way. What I do is I fight against a YouTuber kingdom. I work really freaking hard during the KvK so that like I have no time to stream whatsoever. But then I win, and then I stream when they're all offline. That's how I grow my channel. And hey, sometimes you can't argue with the results. Let's see. Lambo says backstabbing betrays are at an all-time high. I have suggested that they change the way autarchs are distributed. The way it's done now, we see more and more allies fighting allies. It leads to mistrust and will eventually break the community. I think these are all excellent points. We've been in a... We've broken... we've fought our allies in Kingsland before because we could not agree on who gets the star. I think in that case, our allies were dishonest about it, and we clearly did the most, but they just were dishonest about it. I don't think... Listen, I don't know what's going to happen here, but I think we can work it out. This was a great... I mean, that was a great victory also, so, like, it's hard to... I don't really want to talk about it anymore just because I've been through it before. I've been through exactly what Lambo and Laura are talking about, where, like, people disagree so much on who gets the star that it leads to allies fighting each other. And if they would just distribute the autarchs differently, make it where you could just distribute autarchs however you want, I think that would literally eliminate almost all the problems. You can come to a numerical compromise. So, yeah. Yeah, some very good points. Some very good points as far as that go. Someone says, guess that strat works. Mappa says, lol, Brian has the winning formula. Dude, I love it, man. I love being able to talk a little trash. I mean, I really like all the YouTubers in 2268. I've certainly been a fan of Chisgul since, day one of me playing this game. I'm going to be live streaming Osiris League with Chisgul tomorrow. Plato has been a huge friend to me in ROK. Plato has really helped me out a lot with the Osiris League stuff, and Plato's like a great person to cast with. I'm very proud of the Osiris League cast that Plato and I have done. And Only Farmer has been a good supporter of my stream in the past as well. So I like all those YouTubers in 2268, and I look forward to going back in time and watching their coverage. I'm going to really enjoy watching Chisgul's coverage of this KvK, knowing what happened and knowing that I played like a pretty big role in it. Richie says the other streamers are not in leadership, that's why they stream. Yeah, I think that's a very big part of it, right? It's when you're a leadership and you're just like talking to your team the whole day and your mind is focused on like fighting and on leadership stuff, it's just very hard to it's very hard to it's just hard to stream. It's very hard to stream. Metro, thank you so much for the donation. Metro says congrats on the win. Thank you so freaking much. Really appreciate it. Really appreciate it. Thank you all for hanging out. I am just yeah, we're waiting for the Zig capture. Let me know if the Zig gets captured. I imagine there's a lot of discussion going on. So, where did I mark this? Oh, there it is. Yeah, I imagine there's a lot of conversation about this right now. I guess we're in no real hurry. Everybody's just chilling. Everybody's chilling. Which match am I casting tomorrow? Oh, dude, we're casting absolute bangers. We're casting absolute bangers. We're casting a Bastet stream at 13 UTC. We're casting at 13 UTC. Chisgul and I are casting 3065 against 3159, and then at 15 UTC, we're casting, in my opinion, the most important match of this Osiris League so far. Shout out to Gosu for pointing out the importance of this match to me. We're casting 93T against 1888. The defending champions in Horus, 93T, are going to go up against 1888, which is going to be some of their toughest competition in this whole tournament. So yeah, Chisgul and I are casting that at 15 UTC, and that one's going to be an absolute banger. Really looking forward to watching 93T. Actually, might do a little scouting. Later today. There's a few things I want to scout on this match, actually. So we might do that later today. But, you always learn a lot from 93T. Their strategies and what skills they use. And their just ability to understand the timing of Osiris League is just fantastic. I'm not sure if it's Silent Flow or Mike Hawk or who it is that really runs their Osiris League, but they're like so freaking good at Arc. It's VL though, right? That's 118's second team? I think it's their first team. I think it's their first team. Am I wrong? Maybe am I wrong? Oh. It is their second team, isn't it? Okay. Okay, so... Alright. Thank you, Laura. I appreciate that. So 1818's main team is fighting 93L, which is the second team in 1093. And then VL is... Okay. Now, how is VL done, though? But VL has been very strong. I mean, it'll still be very good to see 93T in action. And it'll be a very good test against VL, right? VL had a nice win last week. Oh, man, I'm embarrassed by saying that wrong. Thank you, Laura. I appreciate that. Happy says semifinal should be clash of main teams. I think this setup is pretty good. When 118 and 1093 both bring two teams into the final 8, I think that this setup is fine. Have the number 1 from 188 fight the number 2 from 93L, because then if 93L wins, and 93T win, then they get to play each other. Like they get to play each other one round sooner, and it's not anticlimactic. Plato and Dirty Dan are going to be casting JST against Wib, which is also going to be a great match. Arseni says JST versus Wib will be more interesting. No. This will be a really good match also. Wib played really well last week. They were super organized. JST's gotten the job done and has won all their matches. JST beat Vita by 2,000 points, whereas Wib beat Vita by 6,000 points last week. Although this match was closer than the final score indicated. So JST versus Wib's going to be a very good match, and Plato and Dirty Dan are casting that one. But it's great. It's always great to cast 93T. Not that I've ever actually done it, but you definitely learn a lot from them. Happy says 16OT super strong. Yeah, 16OT looks strong. 16OT looked strong last week for sure. Very good mid. They absolutely melted. Oh, who did they fight? I should know who they fought. I casted the friggin' match. Oh, they fought LN93. 16OT absolutely melted LN93 mid. You could see the impact of all those Hunter inscriptions by 16OT. And this is a point that Gosu made. And I probably shouldn't say it because I'm going to say it again on... I'm probably going to make this point again tomorrow on the official broadcast, but Gosu made the really good point that some of these teams that have, 7 or 8 stars, that means that at this point they probably have 5 Hunter inscriptions. They probably have 5 Hunter inscriptions. And so like in Arc, when you can only have 5 marches, and they go mid, they literally have 5 marches with Hunter on like every march in the mid. Every single march in the mid. Oh, Dirty Dan with the raid. Thank you so much. Thank you, Dan. Really appreciate it. Dirty Dan with the raid. Shout out to Ray. Shout out to everybody from Dirty Dan's stream. Yeah, Dan's going to be casting tomorrow as well for Osiris League. They got the JST Wib match, which I thought we had the better match, but, they might have gotten the better one. Dan and Plato might have gotten the better one. Lore from 1606 says, I've played both, but it's not really close. JST exerts so much pressure, but we'll see. Yeah, I think the problem for Wib is the mid, right? Like, because Wib lost to Vita mid. Wib lost 3 mid fights to Vita pretty convincingly. So, yeah, I think the problem for them is mid. I think JST can go into that match and be like, we're literally going to win mid every time. We're very likely going to win mid every time. And so we can adjust our strategy accordingly. and like do a little bit more on the sides, like defend our outposts, not hold the arc. The biggest mistake Vita made last week was holding the arc. If Vita had not held the arc, then they probably would have won the match, because they would have gotten one more arc at the end and disrupted and not given Wib so much time to focus on the sides. Let me link Dirty Dan's stream here. He did give me the raid. I really appreciate that raid. So let me just throw Dirty Dan's channel in the chat, and I would definitely appreciate it if my longtime supporters could throw a subscribe Dan's way for that raid. Really appreciate it. And Talon says Chisgle's made that point earlier when talking about 1968. Okay, that's good to know, because I was like all set to impress Chisgle tomorrow with that. That was like my that was my little secret weapon in my back pocket, was that I was gonna be like talking about how 1888 has 5 hunter inscriptions, and Chisgle would be like, "Oh, it's a good point." So I still might make it, but you know, I won't be disappointed when he is underwhelmed by my insight. Ghost says literally 1888 made a recruitment post in official Korean community saying this is their time to win Osiris League, as everyone has 5 hunter inscriptions. Yeah, so Ghost is hyping up 1888, and I certainly think there's validity to that. You know, Korean teams have obviously been very good in Osiris League in the past. I believe 16OT is also Korean. Quiz just says, I can't remember the last time Chisgle was this low of power. Yeah, let's, after I beat this level 15 Karawek boss, because you can see I'm struggling with the 3 marches. Maybe I need to bring this Diao-chan home. Oh, the Yan. Dude, they're gonna stream snipe. They're gonna listen. If these guys are friggin' ready to go, they're gonna mess us up on this stream. This is why I don't stream, man. I still have not set it to where my Garrison doesn't leave after a flag finishes. Letio says, can you show map? Yeah, I'm gonna I will show the map in 1 second. Let me just I'm just gonna put it on the power for a second here. I guess we'll show Chisgle. I mean, you know, everybody knows Chisgle. He's the biggest streamer. I mean, here's Peacemaker. Peacemaker's at 110. You know, War Kitty Banuski's at 105. A lot of familiar names here of teammates that we're scrolling through. I mean, we still haven't even gotten to Chisgle yet. Like, Chisgle went very hard in the paint. Nikki, which is one of the leaders of 20-68, is under 100 million at 99. Albanin is down to 99. Where's Chisgle? This is crazy. I thought we would see him by now. Whoa. Whoa. Oh, so Chisgle's at 93 million power. Yeah, pretty crazy. Chisgle's at 93, and then where's Chadsky? Chadsky is down to... Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Boogeyman got zeroed last night. We'll show you Boogeyman's zeroing on this stream. Oh my gosh, we still haven't gotten to Chadsky. Oh my gosh, did I miss him? I must have missed Chadsky. He can't be lower than this. Oh my gosh, Chadsky's at 86 million power. Holy smokes. So Chadsky started at like 260. He even started Kingsland at like 120, 125, 130. You know, we looked at Chadsky's stats a lot because Chadsky was a super impactful player for 22-68. Chadsky was very, very impactful. So his power going down was like a very big sign for us that like, oh, we're at least making this war easier for our allies. We're making the war a little bit easier for us in the future. But I'm going to grab some water like really quick. I'll be right back. Actually, let me go to the Zig. Let me go to the Zig. I need to turn the lights on in my apartment. 1 second. You know what? Instead of drinking water, I just grabbed a Celsius. F it. I might have just woken up, but we got a nice stream going. We're watching our allies surround the Zig. Let's just have the Celsius real early. Raxon, thank you for the sub. Very much appreciate it. Talon says, honestly, if Chisel had people pilot his account, he'd be crazy. Yeah, but you know, it's nice to Talon, it's nice to like watch Chisel play this game straight up. Given that so many people don't. You know, so many people listen, pilots are a big part of this game. Resource buying is a big part of this game. So I think it's quite useful. It's useful to have like the biggest streamer play this game straight up, because then you can sort of see what someone goes through if they don't have pilots and if they don't buy resources. Because, you know, Chisel probably got less sleep than some of these other big accounts. You know, some of these other big accounts probably just had pilots on a lot and they played themselves for like 8 hours a day or whatever, lived their lives. But Chisel, you know, like when Chisel started his stream yesterday, he was like, one of the first things he said was, I'm very tired. And that's because he stays up late playing his own account. And he has to worry about his resources. Like, Chisel actually has to worry about his friggin' resources. There's a lot of players in this KvK who don't have to worry about their resources because they just buy them. And they don't have to worry about like sacrificing things in their life because they have pilots. Like, I sacrifice things in my life and with my business to improve our chances of winning this KvK. And so it's rough to lose against pilots, right? For sure, it's rough to lose against pilots because they're not sacrificing as much in their life as you are, and then they beat you anyway, and it's just like you feel like an idiot. And I'm not saying that nobody in our kingdom pilots or anything like that, but it's just unfortunate that like the keys to victory in this game are things like having a lot of pilots. Like, to win in this game, it's like having pilots is one of the absolute most key things ever. And that's unfortunate. I will just say in our kingdom, like, we really don't do a lot of piloting because like we just don't have that many accounts where like you would even want to pilot them. Most of the accounts that we would have that you would want to pilot are Korean accounts. And so our group just doesn't have any like, I mean, we're just like not tied to that. You know, we're not, it's like you literally have to log in a different way to like use a Korean account. I mean, you can do it, but it's just like different. So that all being said, we're always looking for more whales in 1770. And if you want to have people pilot your account when you come here, hey, go for it. We're totally with that. And you know, we provide a good experience for people, right? We work super freaking hard. You know, I think one of the things you saw in this KvK is that our kingdom, or our camp with 2836, which hopefully we keep playing with some of the 2836 people in the future because they were great to play with. But you know, we just fought 24/7. We never stopped fighting. We never stopped fighting. We were always fighting. Plato, welcome to the stream. Thank you for the fights, Plato. Thank you for all your support. Plato played great. Plato finished like 3rd or 4th in enemy elimination. Plato finished very, very high in enemy elimination. And look, Plato also gives... Yeah, everybody support Plato. Let me throw a link to Plato's channel, because Plato has helped me out a lot. Plato has helped me out a lot. Plato probably indirectly hurt his team's chances by giving me a little bit of... He gave me some support with the Osiris League stuff and casting down the official channel. And so that kind of got me back into Rise of Kingdoms. It got me more inspired to play Rise of Kingdoms. And that made me put a lot more effort into this war. But very much appreciate Plato's support. And Plato played really good in this KvK. And he also gives a feel of like what it's like to be a real ROK player. Because I'm pretty sure nobody pilots Plato's account. And Plato also doesn't spend that much. And so Plato, you know, you see him chaining a ton of barbs. You see him doing all the events. You know, you see him like micromanaging everything. Like Plato, when Plato heals, he friggin' changes the castle skin in his city to get 3% more healing speed. And then he heals and then switches back to his fighting skin, right? Like, you see Plato micromanaging in a way that a big whale might not do that. And in all honesty, I can't even be bothered to when I'm healing in war, I can't even be bothered to grab a healing rune. Like, if there's like a war rune over here and there's a healing rune over here, and my belly is in this structure, I can't be bothered to like I can't be bothered to grab the healing rune. I literally will just grab the I'll stay on the war rune. I can't even be bothered to get the 15% healing rune. That is how suboptimal I am in my actual playing of this game. Although in my defense, I'm usually doing something else. I'm usually, you know, coordinated and shit. I'm setting markers. I'm like a secretary. Other people say what we're doing, and then I type a marker that says what we're doing. Labo says, my ass, he doesn't spend that much. Full spin on Dahar Puzzle Box. Yeah, but that's because the Dahar Puzzle Box is value, Lambo. Dahar Puzzle Box is value. I also have full spun the Dahar Puzzle Box in my day. And I'm not that big of a spender either. Yeah, everybody's congratulating Plato on a great fight as well. Plato played really good. Plato's a great player. He's a great friggin' player. You know, if you want to see how to play ROK really well, like, you could certainly do worse than watching Plato stream. Because Plato filled like with a lot of farms also. Like, you would see Plato's farms in a lot of our reports. Yeah, I mean, look, 2268 has a lot of very good players. A lot of very good players, very powerful. And, you know, anybody who was on voice chat with me, any of my teammates who was on voice chat with me will know that I was not... Oh, who's hitting me? Oh, I gotta switch the captain. Alright, let's go, Farmer Long. Alright, oh, somebody switched it for me. Alright. Oh. My man. My man is here. I don't know what to call my man here, because, like, his name is, you know, his name is borderline. I guess I can call him, like, Ken. Let me call him by his Discord name. 1 second. Oh, we'll call him Gustavo. This is Gustavo, my man Gustavo. I've been playing with Gustavo for a long, long time now. And he just keeps playing better and better. Yeah, so shout out to Gustavo, who was in the chat earlier. Oh, it's Seba. I thought it was Gustavo. I get you guys' cities confused sometimes. Sean says, I think he earned 2.3 billion KP in that KvK. Earlier, let's see. Critchy says, low A seed is the meta, above and below is no fun. I mean, I don't know. It's weird, man. The thing is, A seeds have to fight, like, Imperiums nowadays. Like, the Imperium ranks have thinned out so much that we end up fighting, like, really tough opponents sometimes nowadays. Gustavo want to be like me. There you go. Yeah, I mean, listen, you know, I tried to do some I tried to do a mix of emojis for my channel. The positive with my own PFP, but then I also have the sad face. I also have the sad face emoji. But we didn't have to bust out the sad faces for this KvK. I guess I should have streamed while we were losing so I could see someone actually use the sad face emoji. Believe me, there were many times where, like, my own play would generate the sad face emoji. I did lots and lots of stupid things. Lots of stupid things. Let's see. Talon says, how much KP and Deds did you get? Okay, so I got I've got 2.5 million Deds. And I would guess that I have maybe like 35 to 40 billion kills. In terms of KP, I don't know, I have maybe like... I probably have like 600 or 700 million KP. Something like that. I went over the 30 billion. I went over the 30 billion KP during Kingsland. So to just give you a sense of where I was at, I had not done 30 billion KP before Kingsland. So that's kind of where I was at. I think I'm probably at 35 to 40 million kills at this point. Yeah, I hit this during KL. Oh, Corrito. What's up, man? Yeah, thanks, man. It was a good war. It was typical 770 style on this war, buddy. Pineapple says Lambo is the biggest FTP farmer here. Don't let his spending fool you. Yeah, Lambo, you know. Listen, Lambo just makes all his money from YouTube. Let's be real. Lambo's just a full-time YouTuber. ROK YouTuber. Guy streams every day. He's got to be full-time. Yeah, QuizJam makes the good point that 2268 has not left Imperium yet. That's pretty wild, right? I'll show you some power stuff after this, if I can win this one. Oh, I have another march. Let me get this Justinian William set up here. Oh my gosh. My stuff is all just so scuffed right now. It's so scuffed. Do I even have any cav? Oh my gosh, look at this. Look at this. Oh my gosh, what is going on? Oh, because my cav's in the field with Jan. Am I going to be able to finish this thing? Am I going to be able to finish Karawak? Talent says Wilder, the 1824 is still Imperium. It's just, the whole thing is wild. Like, I can't believe that we are even remotely Imperium, right? Like, I can't believe that we're starting to hit Imperium. I looked at 1093's, Farmer, welcome to the stream. Farmer, congratulations on a well-played KvK. I could tell that you were working very hard as well in this one. You know, Farmer, I can definitely tell that you're like a very team-oriented person and did a lot to help your team. So, Farmer, congratulations on a well-played KvK, and hopefully you, you know, hopefully you feel good about your performance, because it seems like you played very well. TP next to the flag, which you're a Garrison, you got to use 4 marches, in my opinion. All right, I'll do that, Seba. Oh, is that Whisper? Whisper asking why my power is so low. Shout out to Whisper. Whisper, are you coming back to 770, bro? Whisper, come back. We need you, Whisper. I think that's Whisper. It looks like Whisper. Looks like Whisper's PFP. Yeah, Whisper, we miss you. Come back. Oh, my last TP. Oh, no, I bought 5 last night. Yeah, I'll show you guys, Oh, shit. I'll show you guys what true... This is... If you want to know what, like, true power in this game... Like, when you want to know who really runs the show in a kingdom, you got to look at the shop. You got to look at the shop, and you got to look at who is actually, like... Who has permission to actually spend Alliance gold credits in the shop, right? It's like, here we are in N70C. Very limited. Very limited credits. Very limited credits. But your boy last night was like, I'm not leaving this alliance. I'm setting markers. I'm gonna stock the shop for the first time in over a month and get some teleports for myself. That's how you know the actual pecking order in a kingdom. So I'm gonna use one of those right now. Yep, I'm gonna use one of those right now. Only Farmer says one of her farms got zeroed. I was too tired and totally forgot about it. I got so lucky that nothing got zeroed. Oh my gosh, I could have had everything zeroed. I mean, you guys could have zeroed me. When we were doing Osiris League last week, when me and Plata were doing Osiris League last week, we got on voice before our second match. And like I just like jumped on, and I was like, the first thing I said to him, I was like, no, we were talking. I logged into the game. We were talking, and I'm like, oh shit, my city's off territory. I need the shield. Like literally, I was running around the house getting stuff ready before the match, and like I was completely off territory on the front line. Could have been zeroed. And then last night I was off territory and I didn't even notice. So yeah, shit's wild. Shit's wild. Let me use fewer troops in this garrison. Whisper says I'm in 1v now. I miss you too. Yeah, Whisper went to 1v, eventually followed Hanmano. Yeah, but Hanmano came back. But anyway, Whisper, thanks for your help in this KvK. Congrats on the win. Quiz just says, what's your opinion of 2070, 1756, and 1597 performance? I mean, I think that these were some of the kingdoms that had less of an impact. But, Earth Camp definitely had an impact in Kingsland, though. Earth Camp definitely had an impact in Kingsland. Like, that's the thing, right? You gotta, like, enable everyone to have an impact. And, I think both sides did get some contribution from from all their allies, from all the camps. But I do think our team had better... Look, I think that the Fire's allies were, like, Fire did not have as much help as... if you look at it from our perspective, Fire did not have as much help as we did, for example, right? Because I just see things from the 770 perspective. We had a lot of help. We had great campmates, and we had great teammates in the other camps. And I think Fire just had a bit less of that, right? Wind played pretty good defense. You could tell that Wind and 166, you could tell that their garrison game was strong. But, there's ways to get through garrisons. And we sort of cut through the garrisons last night, for sure. What is gears on your garrison? Yeah, I'll show you, Sean. Here, let me finish this Karwag boss first. This is pretty serious stuff, man. Oh, I do have 4 marches, right? Yeah. Oh my gosh, what is this preset, bro? What is this preset, dude? Let me do it like this. There we go. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. Yeah, thank you everyone for watching. Be sure to throw a like on the stream. Be sure to throw subscribe to the channel. Plenty more content from this war to come from me. I recorded a good amount of it. The Zig has been attackable for over an hour now. Very frantic discussions taking place in back channel leadership chats. It's a good thing I'm streaming, because if not, I would probably have to be involved in those conversations. And I would screw them up, because I'm just like a awkward dude. So we're just going to stream. We're going to let them figure it out. And we can't touch the Zig anyway, so like it's not... we're not like directly involved in this discussion of who gets the first capture. But obviously the first capture will factor into everything else. And, this is one of those things that people can debate, right? Like, you all watched this KvK a fair bit. I imagine that people watched this KvK a fair bit. You watched us doing the fort wall for 2 weeks straight against Fire. And then you watched Kingsland. And so, everyone can have an opinion about who deserves the star here. And I think opinions will likely be mixed. I don't know if the majority will think we deserve the star. I don't know if the majority will think Water deserves the star. But at least this KvK was covered widely enough by both YouTubers, but also people just straight up watching it, that people can have an opinion, right? Like, people are able to make an informed judgment about who deserves the star. Minhee, thank you for the sub. Appreciate it. Credo says 1770 for the star for sure. Credo's biased because Credo is a long time member of 770 who migrated recently because he wanted to play this game more casually. Taunt says DKP is probably in the following order: fire, then water, then greenwood, then earth, then wind, then daybreak. What do you think? Yeah, I assume that water has more DKP than us, but like their DKP was against such easier opponents. Like we had to fight fire for so long. Like we fought fire the most. Like at the end of the day, we fought fire the most. You know, say what you will about all of it. At the end of the day, we fought fire the most. And I just think that counts for a lot. I think that counts for a lot. Metro definitely a 1900 supporter. And 1900 did a lot. 1900 did a lot. But like, I mean, 1900 has downtime though. Like, okay, so 1900 is very strong, but 1900 has downtime where like they just free burn for multiple hours, right? Our Greenwood fought 24/7. We fought 24/7 for over 2 weeks straight. Okay, so that's like very productive. Like fighting 24/7 is very, very productive. Chill says 3125 gets the Zig. Am I missing it? Am I missing the Zig? Shout out to Chill. I believe Chill is in 2268. Am I missing the Zig? Yeah, because the thing about the Zig capture is it can be very quick. The Zig can get captured very, very quickly if they swarm it. So if I can request for if I can make a request for the Zig capture, do it slow. Just let the rally hit it. Just let the rally hit the Zig. Just so we can watch, you know? It's like it's more cinematic. Richard says, I'm from Water Camp. Star for Water or Greenwood. It doesn't matter to me. We both deserve it. GG. Yeah, Richard Vieira nailed it. Richard Vieira nailed it, bro. You know what? I don't really care that much either. I honestly don't care that much. I would love for our kingdom to get 240 autarchs, or our camp. Because obviously 2836 will get a lot of those. But, you know, Richard, I feel exactly the same way. I feel exactly the same way. It doesn't matter to me. We both deserve it. G friggin' G. That's it, man. Great friggin' win. Let's enjoy it. We played well together. The vibes were good. That's all. That's what it's all about. Risky says 1900 did not free burn. I mean, but I mean, okay, they didn't free burn. Like maybe they had somebody stalling or whatever, but there was like significant downtime. Listen, they're a great kingdom as well, but like you just have to factor in the fact that we were 24/7 for this whole war. We were 24/7 for the whole war. And like you see from yeah, Chill says it was very fun fighting. Yeah, it was I really think it was a great war, but I just think like you have to respect and value the value of a 24/7 fighting group. Because you even see what happens with 2268. Like their downtime is what killed them. The downtime of 2268 is what killed them, because they would come back on and things would look worse and it would be demoralizing. And like as Kingsland went on, it took them longer and longer into the day to get going. And once they revved up, they were very tough. But like the downtime is brutal, man. The downtime is brutal. We did it. We freaking did it, dudes. Yeah, 1900 is water camp. 1900 is water camp. I mean, water was much bigger than us, right? Like they had more than twice as much KP than us. Much, much bigger. At the end of the day, we both did our jobs, right? We both did our jobs, so it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. We'll let the diplomats figure it out. All right, let's finally max all damage. Now that the war's over, let's max all damage. Oh, can we do it? Oh, no, we need more. I think we need more. I think this is like 3.5 million or something. Anyway, we'll get there. We'll get there. Quizzica says no downtime. No downtime wouldn't have saved them. I disagree. I think the biggest issue that 2268 has is their lack of, or is their downtime. I mean, when SW joined 2268, the very first thing I thought was, well, that doesn't solve their downtime problems. You know, that doesn't solve, or that doesn't. I just thought to myself, they're all in the same time zone. That doesn't really make sense to me. I think when you do a big migration and you got to figure out a way to, you have to figure out a way to expand your time zone coverage. That's really what a migration needs to be. But I think sometimes kingdoms do a migration to sort of like keep the kingdom big and keep the kingdom strong, and it's sort of like they're not accepting that group from a position of strength. They're accepting that group from maybe a position of weakness or desperation. So, you know, that can cause problems down the road. I mean, if you look at 1034 1V, when 1034 brought that group in, I forget which kingdom. They were like 1600 something. It was a group of like Indonesians. When 1V brought in that group of Indonesians, they didn't fix their time zone problems at all. Oh, look at this. We got a special autarch. Lambo says, after other KvK where downtime has been their downfall, I would think they would have corrected it by now. You know, I think 2268 just wanted to bring in a very strong group. And the reality is SW, in my opinion, SW were the best players for 2268 in this KvK. I think the SW group is what really, they pushed the action. They did the most. People like Chadsky, Addy Lloyd did a lot. PJ, I think PJ Rib might be from 1606. I'm not sure if PJ Rib was in 2605 or not, but PJ Rib did a lot. Panda was very tough. You know, all right, what do we get here? Bellicose, that's good. Hollow Square, not great, but Bellicose is a great inscription here. Pretty good pull right here. 4.5% archer defense. It's Hollow Square, so I might not ever use it, but we'll lock that. That's a pretty good armament right there. Bellicose, one of the best inscriptions. There you go. Luck keeps coming. Tipsy says 1900 did amazing during their downtime against double rallies from 2268 and other camp. Yeah, you know, I didn't watch it down there a lot because obviously we were busy with our own stuff. So, like, yeah, I mean, people who watched it definitely, in some ways, have a better picture of it than me. And, like, 1900 obviously did great. There's no doubt about it. There's no doubt about it. But it's all love from our side. Yeah, Carr says 34 recruited PLA from 1664, right? When PLA went to 1034, the very first thing I thought was, that does not fix their downtime at all. And look at where 1034 is now. They basically died, right? They basically died. So, like, you know, you make these migrations where you like gain power, you gain more players, you gain more leaders, you gain more energy. You gain more energy. But in the long run, what's it doing? In the long run, what is it doing? If you're not fixing the fundamental issues of like downtime and the fundamental issues of like sort of losing players, I don't know. I mean, some mergers are good and some mergers are bad, basically. Metro says if Yoda was in 2268, he would have done wonders. Imagine the deads for him. Yeah, I think if Yoda had been in this KvK, that they would have won. I think Yoda wins this KvK for 2268, in all honesty. I think if the Yoda account were here, they would have won. I just think it was very close. I think this war was very, very close. And I think 2268 probably could have won it. But I mean, yeah, I'm just gonna look for a little footage here that we can watch. while we wait for the Zig and we just talk and stuff. Let me see if I can find like a good stream of Oh, we can watch this, I guess. Yeah, so this was yesterday. This was yesterday when oh, here, let me mute it. Oops. So this was yesterday at the Zig. Basically it was like right down here at this bridge. So basically we like deleted, we had a bunch of flags here. You can see our back flagging here, right? Because we were fighting north, we just wanted to delay fire. So we deleted a flag right here where Abe's city is. Or right over here, where the level 14 fort is. We deleted a flag so that 1900 could build a flag and have more cities close by, because there was like arrow tower versus arrow tower here. You can see it here, right? There was a 1900 arrow tower here, and then there's an arrow tower for fire here, where like Addie Lloyd's city is. So 1900 took their sweet time filling up their flag, and they didn't even quite build it right. They kind of built it wrong, and then that allowed fire to flag down here. They built a flag down here, and then they were just going to destroy the 1900 flag that was still burning. It was literally still burning. So we were all in the north. We were all in the north, and we just did like an emergency ping for everyone to port down here to the Zig and fight and defend this 1900 flag. That's not up anymore. It's not up anymore, but there was like a 1900 flag here that was building, and we had to like get it built. You can see this is hectic because I didn't even go full screen. Like, you know what I mean? Like this, I wasn't even prepared to go full screen. But I mean, this was one of those occasions where all three of our kingdoms were fighting against fire. Like all three of our camps were fighting against fire here. And this is when we did the best in the field. When we fought with water against fire, we did well. And certainly when all three of our camps fought together, we did well against water. Or against fire, right? Like this was such a good feeling when we would fight together, because we would actually win an open field fight. And so this flag only had like 500k in it, so we were just like, let's swarm this friggin' thing. And actually, like, we were able to swarm it, but then also 1900 could swarm it, so that was pretty cool. I thought I swarmed this, but I guess not. I just threw the marker on there. Why weren't you using the new dot mode? I don't like the new dot mode. I don't like the new one. I like the old version for sure. You can see so much more with the old version. Because in the new one, you can't see your teammates. You can't see your teammates. Like, yeah, that makes it easier to fight. Makes it easier to target the enemy. But you don't know what your numbers are. You know, you don't know what your numbers are with the new dot mode, because your teammates are like these skinny little lines. So I like the old dot mode because you can just see the numbers. And then you know whether to pull back or get aggressive and stuff. Because just only took 6 KDs. Yeah, I mean, we did pretty good with 4 KDs. We did pretty good in the open field with just water, you know? Oh, yeah, Sean wanted my Garrison gears. K-Win says Bellicose is good. Yeah, Bellicose is very good. Yeah, let me show you my Garrison gear, Sean. It's pretty good. You know, this is the issue with my count, right? Like, the Garrison gear is quite good. Everything is crit. You know, best in slot gear. My Awakenings are getting there. Most of them are 2. My Ring of Doom is 4. We're getting there. We're getting there. So that's my gear, but the problem is, because I'm so focused on this Cav set, my other gear is very lacking. Like, you know, I still have purple gear on my Zoog. I have, you know, I fought with purple gear on the Justinian the whole KvK. It's not this. It's not purple, but, like, this is my Justinian set. Like, 1 legendary. You know what I mean? I fought with Justin William this whole KvK with all purple gear. And that's just what happens when you're like a Garrison or Rally lead and you focus on one set. Metro says troop type dots are also way too hard to hit compared to the old one. Yeah, I haven't really tried it too much. I mean, obviously they're bigger. Obviously the new dots are bigger, but I don't really have too much problem. I don't have too much problem clicking the old dots. The hard part is with your allies. Like, you'll see this in this fight where I'm like constantly clicking on my allies, and the warning pops up that you're gonna hit an ally. Like, look at this, it's over and over again. And like, you try to retreat and you hit on an ally. It's just so annoying. We probably should have done a better job of keeping our balls separate, in all honesty. But we just seemed to fight pretty well when we were together. And it's just more work to like separate your balls. I guess it's easier to keep your balls every guy out there knows it's easier to keep your balls together. You really don't want to separate the balls unless absolutely necessary. You can turn on hide allies. Maybe I could do that. Maybe I should do that. Okay. Thank you, Febreze. Appreciate that. Yeah, I'll have to try out hide allies. There was something I changed last night. What did I change last night? I changed... Yeah, so here's where you change this. Here's where you change to the new dot mode. You do strategic view troop icons, and you can turn on the unit types. I changed something last night. I can't remember what it was. The troop strength bar is amazing, right? There's two things to the new dot mode that are amazing. One is that you see your rage bar. Seeing your rage bar is freaking great. You see now they're kind of pushing us back. This is what irritated us about water. Like, we would be winning the fight, and then like they would all, the fight would get like a little bit like iffy. And to me, when the fight's iffy, you stay in the field, you kind of play a little bit more defensive, and you let people refresh. But what like 1900 would do is we would win the fight, and then once it looked iffy, they would like do a hard retreat. Like, you see all of 1900 in yellow. They're just all running away. They've all just already run away, right? And we didn't know that. We didn't want to do that. But they would just all ran away to refresh. And I just think that's pretty bad. I don't know. I would just stay out there. I would stay out there. I would let people come back and have like a stable, ongoing open field fight. Because the truth is, we were doing good. Water retreated. Water retreated from this fight, and then we never got the field back. We never got the field back. Fire just had the field after this. So like, it just didn't work. Like, the retreat and refresh did not work. We should have stayed out there and kept fighting. Real Deal Prime. Appreciate it. You can see me hitting the health bar. The health bar on your target is great. The rage bar is great. Those new changes to dot mode are fantastic. The biggest thing for me right now is you need to bring the hospital back. You need to be able to see the hospital count on your screen. Algebra says hide allies doesn't work for allies in different camps, does it? And Bree says no idea. Yeah, I haven't tried the hide allies thing. I wouldn't mind turning the allies. The allies should just be like unclickable, right? Like, it just rejects the click. It's just like, I know you don't want to hit the ally. I know you don't want to scout the ally or attack it. So we're just going to reject the click. We're going to ignore that click. And so then they pushed us back and rallied this and swarmed the flag, right? They just pushed us back and swarmed the flag. And 2268 consistently did a good job of this throughout the KvK, which is when they needed to burn something, they would push and they would get the burn and then they would chill out. Like, we would sometimes win fights in between burns, but 2268 very consistently would win the fight before the burn. When they needed to burn, they would win the open field fight, and then they would burn us. And they did that very, very well. Very, very well. I think we actually pushed them back here in a minute. I think we're going to push them back here in a minute, and one of their players gives us like a question mark emoji because they're like, why are you fighting back now? Like, what's the point? Now it's a pointless fight. And I think that was a pretty accurate emoji, right? Because at this point, the fight doesn't matter. The fight does not matter. We defended the flag. We defended enough to get this flag built, which would delay fire from burning through here, which was the whole point. But I don't think that water should have retreated here. I think we should have stayed and fought for as long as we could. Because you just lose momentum. You lose all momentum at this point, in my opinion. In my opinion. I'm just going to keep switching back. I'm going to get on the Zig. I don't want to miss the Zig. Let me know in chat if they go to the Zig. And we can just keep watching a little bit of footage from yesterday. This was a pretty good fight. I mean, this was a pretty big fight here. Titan says that marker 4 1900 had a flag there, but it burned and most Koreans went to sleep, so we entered defense mode. That marker 4. Oh, the marker 4 here? Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I mean, downtime was hitting for water camp here, so it was just like a... This was just an interesting spot. We basically stayed at the Zig here, maybe a little bit too long, but basically we stayed so they would keep fighting us. We stayed so Fire Camp would keep fighting us at the Zig because we were burning a couple of key fire flags, like around here, basically, like right here. We were burning a couple of key fire flags here, like free burning them. And so we were just like, let's stay at the Zig until these flags finish burning because we do not want them to pour in on us. And like the reality is for me is that fire should have been pouring in on us constantly up here and slowing us down. They should have constantly had like 2 or 3 people come in here and like two or three whales come in here, have some farms fill a flag, put a good garrison in the flag, swarm us down, slow us down, like big time slow us down. But they just didn't do that, and so we just like free burned all this territory up here. They didn't help wind against us, and so we just took all this friggin' territory up here yesterday. And I think that was a bit of a mistake by Fire. You know, you just got to make things hard on your opponent. Like even if it's not like super friggin' productive, you still have to make things hard on your opponent. Just mentally. You just mentally have to make things hard on your opponent. And, you know, at time, you know, listen, they made things hard on us constantly in this KvK. They messed with our head. They demoralized the heck out of me at many times. They demoralized the heck out of all of us. At this point, we were basically sick of fighting against fire. Like, at this point, I wanted us to be down here fighting with water. But people were so sick of fighting against fire that they just stayed north and fought against wind. There were a lot of people in this fight who either came and saved the flag and ported back north, or they literally never even ported down here. They literally just stayed top and fought wind because people were freaking sick of fighting against fire. And that's what you got to do. You got to demoralize the enemy. Lambo says backbuilding flags was done better by you and your allies than your enemy. Yeah, I mean, you know, I think we do the little things very well, and I think in a very big KvK like this, like, or in a big Kingsland like this Kingsland is very, very big. Oh, did I miss the emoji? Let me see. Did I ever zoom in here? Let me see. Maybe here? Is there emoji? Let's see. Let's see if somebody flashes an emoji here that I see. Maybe not. Yeah, anyway, like in a very big, like this Kingsland is very, very big, right? This is a huge Kingsland. Look at the size of this thing. This is maybe the biggest Kingsland in all of Rise of Kingdoms. Very, very big zone. Very big zone. It almost plays like a. It almost plays a bit like a zone 5 in Heroic Anthem or something, but they're just like way more kingdoms. And in a big zone like this, doing the little things well is very important. You know, just getting that free territory wherever you can is very important. Breeze, not yet. I think people are discussing it. I think probably there's like a big discussion about who gets the rewards, and I think there's probably a big vacuum for Greenwood camp. I think Captain is asleep. I think Addy Navo has been traveling. So I don't know if Addy's on. And I think maybe Addy's probably on. I think Addy's on, actually. So yeah, I think they're just discussing it, probably. I think they're just discussing it. Let me see if this flag is burnt. Nope, not yet. Yeah, so we did push them back again. I mean, we had like a pretty good open field fight here at the mid, but at this point we had a lot of people who were just sick of fighting fire, so they went back and fought north. And we just stayed here maybe a bit too long. I had to stay here a bit too long. We got absolutely stone cold smoked. In about 30 minutes, we're going to get hardcore smoked in an open field fight. And then we went back north, and we just spent the entire rest of the night just fighting wind in the north and having some good fights up there. Paul, thank you so much. Thank you. Paul says, amazing comeback. You guys pulled it off. Yeah, thanks, Paul. Really appreciate it. Barney says, bro, just too much. We fought them almost constantly since past 7. Barney says, first time I'll have more healed than killed. Yeah, but Barney, man, you kept your troops a lot longer in this KvK. And you were able to, like, have a nice impact in the field at the end. So... Minhee says it was fun playing with you guys. Happy to play with better troops next time if leadership don't change opinion. Yeah, Minhee, I'm looking forward to having some better stuff next KvK as well. Oh, you know what? Maybe I shouldn't show this. Maybe this is a bad video to show. Whatever. I mean, it's too late now, whatever. It is what it is. Yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to having some new stuff next KvK as well. I'm going to have maxed Lu Chi, so I will have a Gorgo Lu Chi secondary infantry march. I would love to get Huo built as well and have Huo William. I think with the way that I fight, Huo's heal is very, very good, right? Because I stay out there a very long time. Night Fury, thank you for the subscribe, and yeah, let me share the Discord here. I'll share the Discord link, no problem. I think it's in my description. I hope that one works, but let me just share a updated Discord link in the chat. This is our kingdom this is basically our kingdom Discord. But this is where, like, our alliance mainly hangs out. But yeah, I'm looking forward to having the Lu Chi next KvK, having 2 infantry marches. But I really want the Huo. I think the Huo would massively upgrade my number 2 Cav march, because I just think you see that I stay out a long time. I mean, maybe I should be refreshing here with my marches being this low. But I kind of like just staying out there, because then I have a real good feel for what's happening, and I can, you know, change the ball marker if I want to. I can say to retreat if I want to. And so I stay out there a long time. I play pretty conservative. I run away a lot. I'm like a movement guy. I try to, like, pull the enemy in and stuff like that. So I think a heal on Huo would be very good, because it would just give me more sustain. Fabrice says Huo is good. Barney says Huo is the best. Yeah, I think Huo William is, like, a pretty underrated march. You know, Huo's got the slow also. You know, he's very fast. Huo and William have a double slow. They're both fast. So they're great for, like, farm killing and slowing people down and punishing people who are slow. So, I mean, I'm just looking to upgrade things. You know, my open field is just not where I want it to be. I wish I had, I wish that I had held my troops a bit longer. You know, I took 300k open field deads. I mean, I'll just give you guys a perspective here. I've got 2.5k deads. I took 300k deads in the open field. And I also took 300k deads swarming an arrow tower that Chiskel was garrisoning. And Chiskel's city was right next to that arrow tower. And I tried to swarm it because all their other players had left. And I took 300k deads on that as well. So I basically took 600k... I took 600k deads here that I didn't need to take. And it just would have been nice to have those troops and be able to use like 4 marches in Kingsland. Because obviously I'm just using like 3 marches right now. Yeah, but at this point we just never get the field back in mid. We just never get the field back. What else can I show? 1 second. Let me just go through these. Let's go to the Zig. Let's go to the friggin' Zig again. You know, I thought we were going to take the Zig on this stream, but maybe we won't. Maybe there's just too much discussion about it. I was thinking we could just show like the defense that Cortex and Crix did yesterday. But maybe there's something better. Let's see, when would that be? Where was this? You should show our offenses. That's a good idea. I could show some win stuff last night. I don't have a ton of it, but I can show some of it. I don't have a ton of it, but I have a little bit of it. Oh, I could show Boogeyman, but I don't want to show that. I'll show some win stuff from last night. All my videos are really short last night. Yeah, all my videos from last night are like super short, to be honest. No, we don't want to show that one. Bro, I didn't record as much yesterday as I thought I did. GG. One second. I have something. I must have something. Okay, here's yeah, here's where like Crix and Cortex were like defending. Like Cortex pretty much zeroed his account. You know, very legendary players, Cortex. Very knowledgeable, very accomplished. I think maybe there was some disagreement about what should be getting done on a day like yesterday. Where like we were burning 68 up north, right? We were burning 68 up north. And you know, I just think they probably should have done a little bit more to stop us here. Let me see what this is. Oh, this is nothing. Yeah, I just think they should have done more to... So, they weren't really... They were, like, letting us free burn. And then, like, Crix ported up here with his farms. Then Cortex ported up here. A handful of players ported up here, but not a whole lot. And I think they kind of had the right idea, but, like, they just didn't have enough people. And so we ended up getting, like, very, very good trades against their garrisons and stuff. And so we can show a little bit of that. Algae just wants to see his rallies. Barney says Algae just wants to see his rallies. That's probably true. Fabrice says, I need to do some research on Heroic Anthem KvK, first ever SOC coming up soon. Will be a lot of fun. I'm excited. Yeah, welcome to SOC. It's a harsh entrance, but you know. And Barney says, get Bastions to 6 fast for the skills. That's a yeah, you definitely get your Bastions up to 6 so you can get the skills in Heroic Anthem. And, you know, Febreze, honestly, the main thing is just play well as a kingdom. Have good vibes, play well. You know, you're going to be a younger kingdom, so you're going to be at a disadvantage. But the key is really just, you know, if your goal is to have your kingdom be successful in the long run, you just have to play well together, have good vibes. And then you'll feel good in retrospect. Your players will be like, oh, this is a good group. I want to stay with this group. I want to stay with this kingdom. We did well. It's fun to play with these people. We may or may not have won. We may or may not have been the strongest kingdom, but we were successful enough that we want to keep this project going. And then you just do the same thing again in the next KvK. You hopefully get some migrants in. Maybe you merge with some of the groups that you played with, either played as allies with or you played against. You merge with some other good groups, and you just kind of get stronger that way. And you just kind of get stronger gradually over time. I mean, that's on the macro, that's on the alliance level. On an individual level, yeah, get your Bastions to 6. Don't fight with too many open field marches. Like, fight, just use quality marches. Use your quality marches. Get a few quality marches in there and just fight with those. Then you'll use your speed ups and resources more efficiently. Minhee, I got like maybe 35 million kills. 35 to 40 million kills. And he says your rallies are good. Yeah, you know, the issue we had was... So, our infantry rallies did good against a lot of stuff. We sometimes had good cav rallies. Like, the Koreans have very good cav rallies. Like, White Castle has a very good cav rally. SA has a good cav rally. And then some of the 2836 guys have good cav rallies as well. But, like, the problem was our infantry garrisons were the best, and our infantry rallies were the best. And so it's like, at that point, we just need tons of infantry, you know? And it's just kind of weird. It's like everything was infantry. Ruby says, have you ever watched Dune? I watched the original Dune. I still need to see the remakes of both Dunes. That's something to do after this war. Shaki, welcome to the stream. Sniper Tom, we're just watching some footage. We're just watching some footage because there's just not a lot going on. There's not a lot going on in Kingsland right now. I think people are mostly free burning, and I think people are discussing the rewards to decide who gets the Zig. So people are just chilling, man. People have just been standing around for a long time. You know? Everybody's AFK, man. Everybody's AFK here. And I still need to do my Bastion quests, but we're just gonna watch some footage from yesterday. Yeah, so I mean, let's see, is the rally coming in yet? I guess the rally's already hitting. I can't see the rally, but the rally must be hitting. I'm just trying to kill the swarmers, you know? Algebra, do you know what rally this was? Was this Tariq Zug? I can't remember what Algebra rallied with here. But yeah, Algebra ended up being our best infantry rally in this KvK. He's got a very good wedge set. He maxed Asher, so he had both a Tariq Asher rally and a Tariq Zug rally, which are really the two meta infantry rallies in the Artifact KvK. I would say that one of my proudest moments in this KvK was my Attila Gorgel garrison was getting wrecked by Addy Lloyd's Tariq Asher. And I just wasn't sure what to do. And then Algebra actually mentioned Jan Flavius, like, as a possible garrison. And it made me remember that Well, here, let's focus on this. I'll talk about that later. I'll talk about that after this rally. Yeah, so we're just like, we're just chilling here. We're just watching this. I'm probably scouting on my farm and telling people what's in the garrison and just waiting for swarmers to hit the rally. We can fast forward this a little bit. I guess this is kind of slow. This footage is a little bit slow. Long rally. Oh, here comes the rally. We were waiting that whole time. We were just protecting the ball that whole friggin' time. So now the rally's coming in. Now the rally's hitting. Yeah, you always wonder when somebody from Fire ports in, you always wonder who it's going to be. In this case, it was just a farm, so you're like, oh, thank God, it's just a farm. But yeah, Cortex was like heavy filling this. And I think Cortex has like max leadership gear on his YSS, or on his Harrow YSS. But the thing about the Harrow YSS Garrison is that it's like a year old at this point. And it wasn't even trading that good against meta rallies like a year ago. And so I just think at this point it's just it's just tough. It's tough to get a good trade with this Garrison, I think. So it got a little bit low and then we just swarmed it. And they just didn't have enough people filling. They didn't have enough people harassing our reigns. They didn't have enough people swarming this this Tariq rally. Let's see what it is. Tariq Asher rally, which is a very swarmable rally. You can totally swarm this rally. But they didn't have the people over here. And so we ended up getting some very good trades as we were trying to productively burn. Like, they even did a really good job switching. They did like a very good job switching here. A lot of times when we were not great at switching garrisons in this KvK. They did a very nice job switching captains here. Very nice job. Minhee says Osno Hera YSS was crazy, trade so good. That's interesting. Because Cortex had like max, he had the max leadership set here. He had the max leadership set in this situation. Well, let's get to that report here. We'll definitely get that report. This report's got to be here, bro. Oh my gosh, did I really not look at that report? Do I really not have that report? Let me see. Let me see if I have that report somewhere. Let's see if I have that report somewhere. Oh, here it is. Look, this is like maybe not that exact report, but it's pretty close. This is the report from that rally. And this is probably the exact rally because he used Tariq Asher. So you can just see that it's a very good report for us, a very, very good trade. The rally really did not get swarmed much at all. And also was doing very good AoE to some of the farms. Like, you can see that even Asher, like, you know, it's not a Zug AoE, but like even Asher does some good enough AoE to really punish some farms. And you know, you can see that Cortex just hard filled this. You know, and you know, listen, Cortex is a great player and absolutely one of my favorite people to listen to on Chisgle's streams. And, you know, these things just happen in Rise of Kingdoms at the end of the day, right? Like, he wanted to defend something that was important, that he thought was important. Maybe his teammates did not agree that it was important. Although I think he was right, quite frankly. And so he defended it. And other people did not, you know? So here, this is what was happening at the same time, right? Here's like a good, here I can like show you, this was like day 2. This was day 2 of Kingsland. You can see that we had built up a lot of teleport space up here. That's the thing. They let us farm all these tiles. Like, look at this territory. Look at all our territory here. We had a very small amount of territory up here, but they let us gather all the resource tiles. They let us get everything set up. And so then we started, once they started resisting a light resistance, we had massive, massive numbers up here. We had so many cities up here. So we could just have a very effective offense at this point. And, you know, these are the things you can't really see if you're on the other side. I mean, you could sort of see it, but you just don't realize. You don't realize, like, how well set up an enemy is. And at this point, we were very well set up. And then, let me give you the whole, yeah, I can just give the whole, this is like day 2. This is like 36 hours into the Kingsland, right? I'm going to do a full zoom out so we can see. Okay, so that's us up top. Here's the middle. Here's the middle, right? The Zig. You know, Fire has a nice foothold here. Fire's fighting water up top above the Zig. Wind is in purple. Wind has all this territory in purple here. And so Wind was fighting 1824 right here at the Zig. You can see that the 1900 front is largely, they're separated, which at times they were separated. But you can see how important this blue 1900 front is down here. They were our southern front, and they were definitely pressured a lot, and they held, and that was very important. But you can see that we're getting set up north, right? We're getting set up north. This is us setting things up north on day 2. And then you look now. Now look at the north. Look at the north now. We just destroyed the north. We absolutely destroyed the north, right? Purple is completely gone from the Zig. That's because of us. 1824 was stalemated at the Zig. We came in, we attacked them from the top, and we just collapsed Wind's territory basically in about 12 to 15 hours. And that was really all set up by what we were doing on day 2. But thank you all for hanging out. We're still waiting for the Zig to get captured. I don't know if we will. I'm gonna ask around if this is gonna happen today or not. Let me ask. Let's see. Where can I ask? Yeah, I'm just gonna see. I'm gonna try to get a sense if this thing is gonna get captured today or not. If anybody has any other questions about the KvK, please ask. I certainly have plenty of opinions and saw a lot of it, so I can give my thoughts on it. Metro says they're going to take so long. 2268 is going to consider fighting again for the Zig. Dude, that's what I'm saying, bro. I'm starting to get a little nervous. I'm like, don't we want these buffs? Don't we want these friggin' buffs? Like, the thing is, anyone could take the first capture and get the rewards. What are the rewards? I mean, they're not that great. The first capture rewards are, like, not that great. Like, this is not that big of a deal, I don't think. Because I think, you know, with the camp honor points and the coalition honor points, I think that's largely settled, right? Like, water is definitely going to get first in coalition, and water is definitely going to get first in camp rewards, for sure. For sure. So, I mean, and Daybreak is down here in 4th in camp, and then Daybreak is... So yeah, I mean, I guess the coalition matters a little bit to Daybreak to try to get second against Wind. But I think at this point, Daybreak will almost certainly win second in coalition, just because we're going to own more of the map, and we'll like deny them altars and stuff like that. So to me, the rewards for the first capture are just not a very big deal. I mean, 2,500 gems for all your players, that's nice. You know, 60 hours of speed ups. It's not that big of a deal. It's not a big factor, but I guess you have to factor it in, right? Sonny says, "Did you max Belisarius?" No, Sonny. I think I'm gonna skip Belisarius. You know, At the end of the day, I swarm a little bit, but I don't swarm a ton. I just never have enough troops to swarm all that much. And I think if the choice is between Huo and Belly, I think for me, Huo is clearly the better choice for me. He's better in the open field overall. I've already put like 160 gold heads into Huo. And I just think Huo is better than Belly for me. I'll be honest, I was a little relieved that Belly ended up being not that great. Because I'm pretty far behind on commanders already. I'm still working on Lu Chi. Lu Chi is basically a must build. Lu Chi is incredibly strong. So you have to build Lu Chi for the open field. And this just gives me a chance to skip Belly. I mean, I probably have to build Eleanor. That's the thing, man. As a garrison captain, you just get so effed up, man. Like, listen. If Eleanor is better than Jan, then there's literally an argument to be made for me building Eleanor next KvK, not getting Lu Chi done for next KvK, and then I still won't have Lu Chi next KvK, and all I will really have done is incrementally upgraded my Jan. Because maybe Eleanor Flavius or Eleanor Hera is slightly better than Jan, and then I have to do that because I'm a garrison captain. Algebra says Eleanor is good. See, they're already effing me. My teammates are already effing me and being like, oh yeah, you can't improve your open field because you got to build Eleanor. Even though I'm like a second rate, even though I'm a second rate garrison. Because like at the end of the day, at the end of the friggin' day, even if you're a second rate garrison, if you're like very involved in the KvK, you end up having like lots of opportunities to get value or help your team anyway. It's like, this was just like a random night. This was just like a random night where I was defending a fort on the front line against 2268, right? Yeah, they're fighting about Cavs, Archers, and Inf. I actually have to say Inf is best. Even though I'm a Cav player, I actually think Inf is best right now. Like, Inf is legitimately the best right now. Cav is pretty good in the open field, but Cav, look, I'm gonna show you the best of the, like, I'm gonna show you as good as I could do in this KvK and Cav garrisons, right? So this was late at night. What would happen late at night is fire would start slowing down. And okay, so anyway, they would slow down, you would get a defend, and they would stop rallying. You could go to sleep, you could get your work done, whatever. Overnight, my garrison sat in here, Attila Gorgo, and they started like throwing like these random rallies at me. Like, they would just like fill with farms and throw rallies at me. Here's Yuta rallying against my Attila Gorgo. Here's Yuta rallying again. Here's Yuta rallying again. Nevsky Liang. Nevsky Liang rally here. I think I got somebody good in this one, if I'm not mistaken. No. And then PJ Rib attacked it. This was starting to mess me up, this one. You know, but we got really good rains here. Like, shout out to the reinforcements here. So, you know, like every once in a while, you would get in a good situation with the Cav garrisons where you get very good rains. The enemy doesn't swarm. The key here is the enemy did not swarm. So, like, when the enemy didn't swarm us, we would get good trades. Here's another one from PJ Rib. It's getting worse, right? Our rains are starting to get worse. Our rains are slowing down. Their rains are probably getting better. You know, but they are filling with... So Boogeyman was, like, double filling rallies. Boogeyman got zeroed yesterday. So I don't know what the story is with Boogeyman's account. Because it's literally Boogeyman and a bunch of farms. And Shanks, who is filling here. So, I mean, the Cav garrisons are useful, even though the Cav garrisons are completely inferior to infantry garrisons. And I'm not a max gear player. They're still useful. You know what I mean? They're still useful. You just kind of hold. You get some heals on your forts for hours. You kind of slow down the enemy. You get some good trades. Sniper Tom says, I mean, all trades are positive for 268 with farms versus mains. Yeah, but we don't have mains in here either, really. I mean, at this point, maybe we have a few mains, but look, we're all farms too, bro. We're all farms too. You know, these are all farms. I mean, there's some T5 in here, but the T5 is not farm. We have T5 farms, dude. We literally have T5 farms. So yeah, these are all farms for us as well. Natsu, welcome to the stream. We did it, bro. We friggin' did it, Natsu. We friggin' did it, buddy. But here's what I want to show you with the Cav garrisons. And like the Eleanor thing. Here's the deal with Eleanor. Because you can see that the Attila Gorgo is not doing great. Eventually, our reigns slow down. And they get the good trade. Tariq Zug seemed to do quite well against Attila Gorgo. You know, it's almost like Tariq Zug did better than Tariq Asher, really. Like, we have a comparison here, right? Yeah, so we have a pretty good comparison with PJ Rib here. So PJ Rib rallied with the Asher. Kill points pretty even. Or with Zug, kill points pretty even. Slight advantage for them. And then with the Asher, oh, the Asher was better. Okay. Yeah, I mean, they both messed up. Tariq messes up Attila. Asher also messes up Attila. Zug, to a lesser extent, messes up this garrison. Because this garrison is all normal attack damage. And the thing with Asher, you know, they deal more normal attack damage. They take less normal attack damage, right? Asher takes less normal attack damage. Look, the target, it debuffs our normal attack damage. Right, Asher debuffs our normal attack damage. And then Tariq has a debuff of our normal attack damage as well. So Tariq and Asher really mess up Attila Gorgo. So eventually what I realized, it took me a while. But eventually I realized that I could use Jan Flavius. Now, the problem with Jan Flavius is it's bad against swarms, which you can see from Chadsky here. You can see that Jan Flavius does badly against swarms. And so when they were swarming, we didn't do that great. But you can see that the Jan Flavius does better against rallies without a swarm. Here's a rally from Peace. This was like the next night, right? Like, we're trying to hold. We're trying to hold so that they go to sleep, and we can either go to sleep or get some work done. So we're trying to hold here. We hold against Peace, but she tries again. She tries it again. It's still close, but the trade is good for us here, right? The trade is good for us. The Jan Flavius is doing better than the Attila Gorgo. I've learned something. I figured something out. I looked at these skills, and I figured something out. Because, like, Flavius does a lot of stuff. First of all, these guys synergize pretty well together. Because Flavius does a silence, right? Whenever their troop launches a basic attack against a target that is currently taking additional damage over time, it has a 100% chance to cast silence to silence the target for 2 seconds. Flavius does DOT on his active skill. So Flavius silences these 2 skill casting commanders. And Jan dispels skill damage, normal buffs. And I believe it is Zug that gives a buff. Yeah, Zug gives a buff that gives 50% attack, right? And Jan dispels that. So with artifacts, you can do a lot of different combos, and for me that actually caused me to like go in and like read the skills, learn what these commanders do, and come up with an actual counter to what Fire was doing. And then when Chadsky would rally with the Attila Lucci, I would swap to the Attila Gorgo, because the Attila Gorgo did better against Attila Lucci because they're not reducing our normal attack damage anymore. Right? These two aren't... This is just normal attack versus normal attack. So they threw 3 garrisons at me this night. I actually traded good. You know, I traded well. This was like a win for us. Because they were filling with mains here, bro. They were filling with mains here, right? Like Chisgul filled, I think he double filled this. Yeah, Chisgul double filled this with Cav. Chisgul took 80k deads on Chadsky's rally here. They wanted to make this work. They wanted this rally to work. Albanin filled. They wanted this rally to work, right? But we kept the reins up. They didn't swarm because they did not want to lose more power. We held, and then they went to sleep. Right? Then they went to sleep. And now I just want to show you I want to show you the Jan Flavius against the against Addy's Asher Tariq, right? Because Addy's Asher Tariq was messing up my Attila Gorgo. She was jacking up my Attila Gorgo hard. But you can see here our reigns are not very good. They're not good at all. And they do swarm. They do swarm. Right? But the deads are pretty even. And at least my Garrison traded good against her Asher Tariq. With bad reigns. So this was like a pretty good counter. Jan Flav was like a good counter to Asher Tariq. Now obviously the swarming is bad. Jan Flavius is not that good versus swarm. And I'm sure Jan Hera would be better here. But I think the Flavius is quite good against just a rally. Against the meta rallies nowadays. Well, I mean, that's why I might have to build Eleanor. Because against just rallies, no swarm, the cavalry garrisons do pretty good. The cavalry garrisons do pretty good against just a rally. They're worse against swarm. And that's why Gorgo is better. The reason that Gorgo is better than cavalry garrisons is because Gorgo is good against rallies and good against swarm. Right? That's why Gorgo is the best garrison captain. Because she's good against both. Whereas with Cav, you really have to switch. You need like Attila Gorgo versus swarms, but then you need like a Jan against rallies. Or you need Eleanor. Because there's absolutely no doubt, there's no question that Eleanor is going to be better than Jan. Right? Whatever we think about Eleanor, we know she's going to be an upgrade to Jan. And Jan still gets used a lot. Jan Hera is used a lot and is pretty good. Like, not that good, but it's okay. And then Jan Flavius is pretty interesting as well. Like in a pass or in a fort that's not getting swarmed. But let's look at let's go through Eleanor's skills here. Let's go through Eleanor's skills here. And just, I want to see how much counterattack. She has like no counterattack or anti-swarm. She has no anti-swarm, right? So she does a 2300 nuke and she reduces skill damage. So that's good against the meta rallies. Other than Chadsky's Attila Luci, this is good against meta rallies. She takes 15% less counterattack damage. So that's good against normal attack. And she has 20% attack, which is counterattack. So the 20% attack is a little bit of anti-swarm. Tiny little bit of anti-swarm. The Jad yesterday was legendary? When did we defend with Jad? I mean, I don't remember too much with Jad Minhee. Jad was just kind of in like some crap garrisons. All right, but let's go. Okay, so 20%. This skill in general is just super underwhelming. This is one of the most underwhelming number 2 skills like that I've seen in a long time. 20% attack and 50% counterattack for damage reduction. This is a very weak skill, but this is like a tell because something about her must be good to make up for this absolutely terrible skill. Oh, enemy was Jad 1666. I didn't fight against that one. I didn't see that one. I wish I had recorded more of Rallying Wind. Like, how am I missing all these? Anyway, let's go through these skills. All right, so then on the third skill, Eleanor gets 15% defense. And if this commander is serving as garrison commander, whenever their garrison is hit with a basic attack, there's a 10% chance to use the Lily of the Wild skills, which is her active. So this is a Luci-like third skill. where you have a chance to get an additional attack. Or it's more of a Joan skill. It's more of a Joan skill, but from both Lucci and Joan, what we see is that getting the chance to do an extra attack is very powerful. It's very, very good. And so it's whenever the Garrison is hit with a basic attack, it has a 10% chance to use the Lily of the Wild skill. So the question here, and this is a big one, if it's getting hit with 10 basic attacks on a single turn, does that mean it has a higher than 10% chance to proc this? Does it have a 10 by 10 chance, or whatever the percentage is? You know, if 10 or 5 people are attacking this, does it have a much higher than 10% chance of proccing this? That's the question. Because if it does, then that's a lot of anti-swarm on Eleanor. Now here's the 4th skill. 10% all damage. Up to 5 nearby allied marches get a 5% damage boost, which is interesting. Not amazing, but interesting. And then for every allied or friendly troop nearby, this commander's troop gains an extra 1% damage dealt up to 5%. Yeah, this is interesting. I mean, the second part of this skill is very, very conditional. And I would say there's not that many situations where a Garrison has friendly troops around, although there certainly are some. So this is just a meh. This is a meh conditional skill here. And then the alt is, or the expertise is, takes 5% less damage, and it deals 10% more skill damage to its target. You know, ultimately, this is a very simple commander. And the thing I've noticed in looking through skills recently is that a lot of times it's the simple commanders that seem to scale very well. So what's a good example? Maybe Flavius. Yeah, so like Flavius gives just a lot of stats. Like at the end of the day, Flavius doesn't do anything all that complicated. Obviously, he's silent. He procs his own silence. But like Flavius just has a lot of stats. You know, 20% more counterattack damage. You know, it just like gains all damage. He just deals more damage. And then his expertise is just like 10% less normal damage. And so like these commanders that are just very simple, and Lucci is also like very simple, right? Lucci's also very, very simple. You know, he does a slow on his active. He does smite damage on his active. He just gets 10% normal damage. You know, 10% damage reduction. And then his active is just like an extra basic attack, which is an extra basic attack scales forever. An extra basic attack scales forever. As you get better gear, better inscriptions, more stuff on your marches, you just literally do more damage on your normal attacks. So this just scales forever. And then Minhe's saying that Honda is an example of somebody that doesn't scale good. So like, yeah, a big part of what Honda does would be the number damage on his active, right? And so the number damage on an active doesn't scale all that good. You know, they take an additional damage factor of 100. Again, this is just like a damage factor that maybe doesn't scale quite as well as like an extra attack, right? Because these numbers can go up over time. Like 2 years from now, we're probably not going to be seeing damage factor 100 on a commander like this. We're probably going to be seeing like damage factor 200. Yeah, I guess, you know, And then whenever this commander is hit with a base attack while on the map, the damage is reduced by 30%. I guess I'm not making a great example here, but it just kind of feels like the commanders that are real simple. Tend to scale pretty well. Like Attila also has like a lot of stats. Like Attila gives a lot of freaking stats. Even like Charles Martel is a good example, right? Like Charles ultimately just gives like a lot of stats. Maybe stats are not a great example. Maybe I'm not making a good argument here. But anyway, I just think it's notable that Eleanor is a very simple commander. Like she's a very simple commander. She's just giving stats. She's giving a proc for her active again. She's a Garrison commander. She's a Garrison commander who has a chance to proc her active again. And then she just kind of gets, she just gets stats. And maybe that's not a great example. I might not be making a good argument here because I don't really understand how stats would scale well. I don't understand how stats would scale better than like damage factor. But what I do know is that things like, an extra attack scale very well. I think things like an active attack scale well. And maybe what it is about Attila that scales well is the debuff. Like maybe it's... I don't know. I'm not good enough at math to make this argument, but anyway. I think Eleanor is going to be decent. It's going to be niche. Guillermo, respect to you from 19 is 100 as well. Yeah, you guys are amazing as well. This was a great team effort. Great team effort. Algebra says I want to use her. I want her and use her as secondary with Flav in our artifact KvKs. Yeah, I mean Flav primary works as well. Okay, so we're building here. All right, so people are picking up the slack for me here. That's good. Yeah, I don't know. Eleanor's tough for me. Eleanor's really tough for me because obviously I did use the Jan a lot in this KvK. It was not amazing. The Jan was not amazing. Believe me. Believe me when I say. So yeah, here's Anna's Jan Hera. Here's a pretty good report. Here's Anna's Jan Hera with good reigns. I would say Anna's Jan is pretty equal to mine. I would say they're basically equal. We use different talent trees. I suspect that her talent tree is better. But yeah, here's Anna's Jan Hera with pretty good reigns against a heavy, heavy swarm. This is a very heavy swarm. Jan Hera gets a very heavy swarm and an Adeloid rally. This is a pretty good report to look at as far as the state of the Cav Garrison these days. You know, I mean, they beat us, right? The deads are pretty close. The kill points are, you have to say, are pretty significantly in 2268's favor. They have like 50% more, you know, are traded at a 3-to-2 ratio on the kill points here. With the Adeloid, Asher Tariq rally, and a lot of swarming. And I think what you're going to see is that the swarm is profitable. The problem with the Jan Hera is that it's just not very good against swarm. Like, Hera should be good against swarm, but it's just not good enough. Jan Hera is just not good enough against swarm. Here's the belly. Here's the XY belly here from Addy. You know, so this is kind of interesting, right? Like the Nevsky Joan. The Nevsky Joan gets a much better trade, damage-wise, than the XY belly. Now, obviously, the debuffs here are pretty good. If I'm not mistaken, XY has a debuff as well. Does XY have a debuff? Yeah, so... Okay, so it's on the expertise. Yeah, and XY is expertise for its active skill. Troops hit by this skill lose 30% defense for 3 seconds. So obviously the XY belly is doing a lot more debuffs, and then you just have to assess which is more important. Double debuffs, double significant debuffs, versus 1 debuff from Nevsky and a lot of damage. But I think this is a pretty good comparison here of these two marches. You know, it's in the eye of the beholder which of these two is more important. It's debatable. I think it's pretty debatable which of these two is more important. Because the debuffs are very... You know, the debuffs on a Garrison are huge. They're huge. And that's why Addie's running something like XY Belly here, right? Obviously, she could run like Huo Belly or something like that. Or, you know, Justinian Belly. But she's bringing the XY out for the debuff. But yeah, you're just seeing... Yeah, so here's Chisgle's Huo, William. Interesting that it's not doing as well as Addie here, actually. I don't know if Chisgle started swarming earlier. Probably not. Interesting that Huo Williams not trading quite as well here. Oh, here's Addie's Huo. So Addie's just thicker than Chisgle, basically, is what we're looking at here. Addie's just thicker than Chisgle. And Chisgle's pretty friggin' thick, so Addie's just out of this world, basically. But I mean, this is what we were up against. We were up against some very big friggin' accounts, and we're just like trying to figure out what we can do, you know? Like Anna and I are over here with the Cav Garrisons, you know, just trying to figure out what the hell we can do to not get completely wrecked. And overall, Anna did a better job not getting wrecked than I did. But we also had good reigns here. We had good reigns here. But yeah, some of these, like you just see, like Panda will come in and swarm a little bit later. Chisgle got a very good trade on a Joan Belly. Like again, you see the damage difference here. The Joan Belly does a lot more damage than the XY Belly, but less debuffs. The Guan Scipio does a lot of debuffs, but the Guan Scipio never seems to trade good against as a swarmer. But Guan Scipio does a ton of debuffs, and that's what makes it valuable. I think this is the first Guan we're seeing in this report, right? There's no Guan before this. There's no Guan at all before this from anybody. So until Panda started swarming with the Guan Scipio, where he does take a slightly losing trade, before this there was no Guan Silence. There's no Guan Silence at all on this before. I mean, honestly, Anna's Jan Hera held up okay here. Anna's Jan Hera held up okay against the Swarm here. Like, yeah, Addie ripped it apart, and Chisgle did pretty good, but against slightly less thick players, Anna's Jan Hera actually does okay here. It felt like I didn't do as well. It honestly felt like Anna's Jan Hera did better than mine. So, and I actually yesterday I asked her for a talent tree, and I changed my talent tree to hers, because she just seemed to do better with this Garrison. So yeah, heavy swarm here. Heavy swarm. And the players who swarmed at the end, they obviously did get some good trades. EIN says Anna God. Anna played great this KvK. Anna played extremely well. Top 10 player on our side, I would say Anna. I would say Anna was a top 10, borderline top 5 player on our team. ROK Farm says Stratagem is the perfect KvK mode. For Garrison Kingdoms, it punishes the offensive. Punishes the offenses. I hate the farm and the fort and farm meta rock now. What do I think? Well, I will say this. There are advantages that Stratagems has for like Whale Kingdoms as well. My overall assessment of Stratagems is that I like the arrow towers and I like the instant counter rallies. But what I really do not like about Stratagems is that I don't like the Stratagems. I really do not like the Stratagems at all. Because what happens is everyone gets locked into being one thing, right? You're either a Garrison, like right now I have Garrison. This is all Garrison, right? This is all Garrison stuff, right? This is all Garrison. You're either a Garrison, you're a Rally, or you are a counter Rally. I'm not going to switch, but I'll show you a report, right? I'll show you what the counter Rally Garrisons look like. That's not it. So here's maybe so here's probably here's what the Rally stratagems look like. The Rally stratagems are maybe not that different than the Garrison ones. Like maybe I could have rallied with my I might have been able to rally with my talents, but the counterattack. But essentially, what happens is like you get into a point where like you're on voice with people, and you're like, okay, who's available as a counter rally? And like no one will say yes because everyone has Garrison talents on or they have Rally talents on. And so some people just have to sit there as only a counter rally, or you have to sit there as only a Garrison. And you just get you need so many max tech players, you need so many you know, meta level players to do all three roles. It just gets very annoying. It gets very, very annoying to be like, who can Garrison, who can counter rally, who can rally? And everybody's like, oh, my stratagems are on something else, I can't do that. Because as you can see, the counter rallies Garrisons are very different. You need this logistics whiz so people can join with two attacks. And you need one heart, one mind as well. Which buffs I'm not even exactly sure how one heart, one mind works, but you need it for counter rallies. It's really logistics whiz. Logistics whiz changes everything. And so if you have the counter rally stratagem, logistics whiz, you can't be a Garrison and you can't be a Rally. And so at that point, it's just super annoying. It's like, it was really annoying to find people who could counter rally because everyone was on like Rally talents or Garrison talents. And a Whale Kingdom doesn't have that problem because the Whale Kingdom has so many players that they fit different people into different roles and they're just all good. Or it's easier for them. But for a normal like D Kingdom, C Kingdom, B Kingdom, that stuff is brutal. Brutal. And even for us at an A Kingdom level where we were in a camp with another A Kingdom with a lot of leads, it was brutal for us as well, the stratagems. So I really didn't like the stratagems at all. I really disliked them, to be quite honest, because of that. But I like the map because of the arrow towers. I like the instant counter rallies. I like the map in general. I think the map in general is quite good. You know, you can ultimately, once Kingsland opens, you can attack anywhere. You can really just attack in any zone. You can even see that Daybreak took... Daybreak has taken Fire's Pass into the first zone that Fire took for free. They haven't gone in here yet, but you know, you can see that you can just attack anywhere once KL opens. And like you know, we were over here, like we have access to this pass over here. We've had access to this pass for a long time. So it's a very good map. It's a very good map, but I just don't like the stratagems at all. I think if you tweak this a little bit, you could just get rid of the stratagems. I think this map is pretty awesome, actually. And the stratagems are not death. Like, don't get me wrong, the stratagems are not death, but like, I don't like them. They're just not enjoyable. Algebra says the rally stratagems are better than the Garrison ones. You know, as I look at them, I feel like probably I could have rallied. I mean, I don't have a rally, but I probably can rally with this. I can probably just rally with this stack here. Let's look at how the rally ones are different. Let's look at what we have. So we've got one-on-one. I'll be honest, we looked at what Chadsky did in a lot of cases, and then sort of like theory crafted from there. We kind of emulated what Chadsky was doing. But obviously people like Algebra also, Algebra and Uni and Popo also contributed a lot of theory crafting. And we changed it up a little bit. But so here's what I have for Garrison. Let's look at what the rallies were doing. Yeah, I mean, people who are going into stratagems, you can watch this stream and get a lot of... You're going to get some meta info about... You're going to get some meta info about a lot of the stratagems here. I'm just looking for the Chadsky rallies. Might take me a second to find it. Yeah, okay, so here's Chadsky's Attila Lucci. And here's what he has for talents. So I'm a little confused why Algebra says that the rally talents are better, because quite frankly, this City Bane... Was this good? City Bane... It does one of the two effects in the next 5 seconds. You either gain 5% extra damage, or you reduce the durability on the stronghold. Is this really better than like other things? So like really you're getting 5% extra damage half the time. So you're getting 2.5% all damage. But to me... But like combat experience gives 10% all damage pretty early in the fight. It's like, to me, City Bane is like obviously worse than combat experience. And then Chadsky also had to use battle tested because they were trying to speed up the damage. And battle tested doesn't really like help his march. It just amplifies the damage of both sides. So I felt like the rally stratagems were like a little bit... Like he was kind of forced to use City Bane, I think, because it reduces the durability. And he was forced to use Battle Tested because it amplifies the damage of both sides. So I wonder why Algebra thinks the rally stuff is better than the Garrison stuff. Because... let me show you the Garrison stuff. So here is like... Here was like pretty bad reigns with my Attila Gorgo against Chadsky's Attila Lucci. Like, this was the best I could do to counter his rally, but this is kind of how it looked, right? Like, a very good trade on kill points. If our reigns were sort of okay here, like, our reigns are bad. The deads might be okay. But like here, there's a pretty short rally. Now, because they weren't swarming, one-on-one did not trigger here. But you get a lot of value from combat experience. Well, it got up to 6% damage. Alright, so maybe combat experience is not that much better than City Bane, actually. You can see that City Bane triggered like a ton of times. Bloody Bravery is 5% damage once you get under 25%, which is pretty... It happens pretty quickly. So I would say Bloody Bravery is maybe a bit better than City Bane. And then Formidable Force always did like some good chip damage throughout a fight. And then Standing Alone is 10% attack if you're not benefiting from any buffs. Yeah, I guess they're about... to me, they're about the same. But anyway, this is like kind of meta. At least with normal attack stuff, this is meta stratagems. Obviously, both of us had to use martial talent. You know, the theory crafting with the stratagems is pretty cool. It took us a minute to get them right, I think. I think we had worse stuff early on. Let's see if Peace used anything differently. I don't think so. I think it's like the same. Yeah, Peace used the exact same. This seems like the meta rally talents, rally stratagems right here. But, you know, midway through the war, I would say it was a little bit interesting to like figure out what the best thing to do was. But I don't think it really changed too much at the end here. Let's see what Chadsky did at the end. He destroyed me here. This was like really hard flag to this was near the Zig, and we just had like no reigns, and we were just kind of demoralized. So Petsky ripped me a new one on this rally here. But it looks like he's using the exact same stratagems. Yeah. Yep. Let me see if they're going to do the Zig. Yeah, it doesn't look like the Zig's going to get captured in the stream. So sorry for the false thumbnail. Sorry for the clickbait, everybody. And, you know, things are slowing down a little bit. Everybody's here to party. The party got delayed a little bit here at the Zig. Everybody's just chilling. I'm gonna kind of wake up, have some breakfast. I do appreciate everybody hanging out. I appreciate the new subs. Thank you, Dirty Dan, for the raid. Thank you, Lambo, for the dono. Thank you, Metro, for the dono. Oh, Metro's not even... Oh, so Metro's not even in this KvK, and he's very supportive of 1900. So, I mean, you know, shout out to 1900 for just really fighting great in this KvK. Shout out to our teammates in 2836. Shout out to 1824 for all the great work they did. Shout out to Daybreak for being sort of the underdog camp, but really coming up big in Kingsland. You can see Daybreak is all around the Zig. Daybreak, in many ways, cracked this thing open last night on the offensive end by disconnecting Fire territory here in the mid. And of course, thank you and shout out to everybody in Kingdom 1770. Why can't I click on the friggin' coalition? Yeah, shout out to everybody in my Kingdom 1770. This was a great victory for everybody. A great war. Well played to all of our opponents. In particular, Fire. As you can see, kind of as I was talking about some of the rally stuff, you know, definitely put a lot of thought into fighting against Fire. You know, a lot of theory crafting and a bit of a chess game going on between different people using different combos for rallies and garrisons. One of my most proud moments was when I was like switching based on what they were rallying with. So just and just oppressive open field, super big players from Fire. It was like fighting against an end boss. It was kind of like World of Warcraft when you fight against a boss, and you've got your raid party, and you're fighting against like one very strong monster. Fighting against Fire Camp was kind of like that. Shout out to Wind and Earth as well for their opposition in this KvK. It was just a great war, a wonderful memory. More coverage of this KvK to come. More retrospective thoughts. I'll actually be live streaming the Osiris League with Chisgul tomorrow. And, you know, war in Rise of Kingdoms is very intense. Peace in Rise of Kingdoms is very relaxing and very happy. And as we zoom out and the clouds go by, life goes on. So I'll see you all on the flip side.